Do Africans know how to date overall? I would say no, unfortunately. I've come to a realization, me as an African man, right, when I ask these deep personal questions, the women, they don't really answer it. And it's like, trust and transparency is very important. And unfortunately, a lot of them don't really know how to have transparency and learn how to actually have a conversation. It's like, you know, it's like they can ask you, but when it's time to ask them, it's hypocritical and it's double standards. So I think a lot of African women are trying to be controlling nowadays where, I want you to ask me things, but you can't ask me. And I want you to give me something, but I can't give you anything. And I think that's the problem. And I think that's where the disconnect is going on. That's why they will allow these men to take advantage of them because, oh, once he gives me what I want, I'm okay. While the man can be sleeping with your sister, your auntie, even get pregnant by them, I mean, you still stay with him. So I think a lot of them, right, a lot of Africans, right, have a host keep I think he needs to go on mute. Can you hear me, host?
Yeah, I can. I can.
Yeah, I think the problem is, I think Africans just bring a double standards to themselves because when it's the YT man, they behave very differently. And this is where, as Africans, right, I think, the disconnect is probably there because we don't love ourselves and appreciate ourselves more. But when the YT man comes in and steps into the YT man or woman, it seems we act different and we do better. Not we, because I don't date YT women, but I've seen it with my own eyes and I've seen how a lot of African men and women behave around YT people. So I think Africans only know how to date when they have when it's a YT man, but when it's their own, oh, you have to do this for me, come to the family house. But when it's the other way around, oh, I'm scared, I'm nervous. So yeah, I think there's a massive disconnect when Africans are dating. And when you have a conversation as well, a lot of them like to say, you know, when it's their turn to talk, they interrupt you when you speak as well. So I think that's also a disconnect as well with Africans. I've noticed with a lot of Africans, they behave like that, and it's just like very unpleasant.
I don't understand that part. What do you mean they interrupt you as well? I don't get it.
No, I'm saying just in terms, not me, but I'm saying in terms of a conversation, a lot of them like to they like to overtalk you when it's time for your turn to speak. But when you overtalk them, they're coming for your gender, they're coming for your whole family members and your mothers, saying, "Was you not raised right?" But you're doing the same thing. Do you get what I mean? So it's just very unpleasant. So it's just a double standard behavior that you're producing right now.
I mean, I see where you're coming from. But personally, I mean,
Do you get with
I will say that I don't quite align with everything you said because I feel like you focus more on the women than you did the men. I would have expected you as an African. I'm guessing you're Nigerian.
No, I
Is that
say
right?
I'm saying both sides. I'm saying both sides. Literally, I spoke for both sides.
men. But I get where you're coming from. I think it's not unique to Africans in general. But I mean, I will say okay. But anyway, I respect your point of view overall, right? But in your own lived experience, right? You kind of hinted at it, but as an African man, and let's try and speak as men. Let's not try and because I don't particularly like it when African men or black men in general say, "Oh, it's the women." No, bro, we have a ton of issues as well. You get me? As men,
100% host.
you
I
understand?
agree with
So
you.
no,
That's yeah. That's
and
what I
I
said. I
agree with
spoke for both sides. But yeah,
yeah, and I agree with the both sides perspective. I do, I genuinely do. But I'm just saying, you and I can relate on a lot more things than and hash out some issues. But as an African man in general, in your own lived experience, what do you think? You know what? I have to respect your point because that is your own lived experience. So I have to acknowledge that. You know what I mean? I can only push back to a certain extent. I have to respect your point.
I mean, right? Okay. So in terms of my lived experience, there's also paternity youth fraud that's a problem in the African community. You know, it's like you can be fathering
That
that
is
child
high.
for 10 to
That
15
is high.
years.
I was actually quite
Yeah,
shocked
you can be
how
fathering the
low it
child
is.
to I think that Nigeria's about 35% if I checked, and Jamaica's
It's
40%.
yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah, I've checked it myself, right? And I think the problem is, right? You know, you can be fathering that child for 10 to 15 years and you find out he's not yours. That's a massive problem. And that's where these violence, because I've heard a lot of extreme stories in Africa about these types of stories where the father was like the father thought this was my child and it turned out it wasn't. And that's when, he's done something that's probably out of person, that's probably way out of character and unalive though.
Mm.
I don't agree with it, but it's just like it's becoming regular as well. So
But
that's also a massive problem.
I hear you. I
A
mean,
lot of
like I said,
unalivings and violence and diseases is really bad. Like I went to Ghana like last year, and these young little girls are doing a shower life, and I'm like, huh? Like you lot are like young as my sister. You're just on the streets asking me to come home with you. It's
because
crazy, man.
yeah, because African men have failed to build countries, bro. Don't you think so?
Exactly. And you know what? I do. The governments are very corrupt as well. So there's
Yeah.
like they've left them with no choice, to be honest.
Yeah,
Really
I
and
mean,
truly,
I do give. I mean, this might sound counterproductive, but I do give Africans a lot of grace that are in Africa because there's nothing, there's no system. You know what I mean? If it
nothing
was like
at all. No
if
healthcare.
exactly, so if it was like a place in the West, I'd be like, you know what, dude, you've got all this and this and this and this. Why are you messing up? But back to that perspective, I was quite stunned at how high that number is. But why do you think, from your own experience, well, from your own opinion, Sarga, that paternity fraud cases are so high in Nigeria and Ghana? I think in Nigeria it is over
Yeah,
60%, something crazy.
yeah.
I can actually check. What
Ghana
what
too.
what do you think is the main cause of it?
I think the main cause of it is like people are just sleeping recklessly, sleeping around recklessly for transactional, and also sleeping around because he said he will offer you more money and stuff, So it ultimately comes down to a shallow behavior, but also say it's down to it's just down to how you raise it at home. Because if your mum was a shower and she had you, you're also gonna pick up that mentality when things are not going your way. When you see other showers making money and progressing, you're also gonna want to be like that. So that can happen too.
Do you think potentially another reason of the paternity fraud cases is lack of sexual satisfaction?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. A lack of it. But when you've been around, you're gonna want to go around more. It's like when you've done the shower role, like you can't change on a shower. A street walker will always be a street walker. And I think the problem is when you try to change a street walker, you can't change a street walker. So also I have to push back on the men because the men are choosing these street walkers because she's
But
got a nyash and
aren't
they're not
men?
really trying to.
But I feel like, Saga, I've done this long enough to know you're putting a lot of responsibility on the women.
No, I'm not putting responsibility. I'm putting responsibility on both sides of the gender.
No, you're not.
I think everyone should take responsibility.
No,
But I'm
you're
saying
not.
the men also choose nyash. They don't choose the personality. They don't choose the way she talks and stuff. They'll just choose anyone as long as she's got big nyash and big breast.
I do love Yash though.
And
I'm
then
not
when they
gonna lie.
see it as well, like they just lose their mind and then they just like simp out as well so badly. It's like, bro, you was raised to be better than that. Literally.
I mean, again, I hear where you're coming from, but I do feel like you are putting a lot of the responsibility on women, which they do have some accountability to play. It's like you said, it takes two to tango for sure. It absolutely does. But I also believe that men can also be a showers too. I don't think this is something we talk enough about. I do think men can also be a showers, but a lot of men
Yeah, I'm a
often
host.
avoid. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think they have.
host. Yeah, men. But remember, yeah, well, men have
Yeah.
to pay. So the woman can just advertise herself, and that's it. Men are paying. So the men are just as bad as them because they're consuming, and they're instead of like trying to build something, you're paying like what 100,000 naira, 300,000 naira for 1 hour and stuff. Well, they also play a massive part in it too because they're the consumers, right?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't have anything against S workers. I think it serves a purpose in society. It's the oldest profession for a reason, right? But I just feel like as men, as African men, because I've noticed this, we always love to point the finger at women. It's we may not explicitly say it, but I can already see that a lot of African men love to always point the finger back at women and say, "Oh, it's women," it's this women, just ashawos. But there will not be ashawos existing if men didn't buy it. You know what I mean? Ashawos would never exist if there was no market. If that makes any sense, there would be no ashawos if there's no demand. OnlyFans is one of the biggest platforms in the world today because men pay for it. And I find, and again, I'm not speaking to you, Sarga. I'm speaking in general to the biggest point out there, because a lot of men do this, especially men that are in the red pill space. They love to talk down on sex workers. They love to talk down on them. But it's so ironic to me that they talk down on these women, yet they are the biggest consumers. It's weird to me. But this Ashawo is making 10,000. You're cheating on your wife with this Ashawo. You talk down on Instagram models all the time. We talk down on OnlyFans models all the time. But this OnlyFans bank account stays getting fat.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking down on anyone.
I feel like men don't hold enough accountability as they should, especially in the context of this Ashawo topic, because we stay always pointing the fingers on the OnlyFans models. And it's always, but no, us men, especially as African men, right? We need to take accountability. In the context of the paternity fraud, right? How many African men are really sexually satisfying their women? This is something we don't talk about in African. We don't talk about pleasure. How let's be real, we don't talk enough about, like, a lot of African men, and this might get a bit taboo for some. And guys, please tap the screen. I don't like to be repeating myself. Do me a solid, guys. Just all you do for me, just tap the screen. I don't care for the gifts, but it does help when you gift, because it's all about the algorithm, right? You're telling the algorithm you love it here. So please tap the screen, give gifts. It's for the algorithm. I don't need it, but it's for the algorithm. But I feel like in the African context, home and abroad, we don't talk enough about sexual pleasure, and you have a lot of couples for African couples who they see sex and sexual engagement more like a duty. Sex is supposed to be pleasurable. So especially as a man, right? As an African man in Africa. No, let me land, please. Let me land. So as an African man in Africa.
Oh no, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, as an African man in Africa, you don't care about pleasuring your wife. You're not giving your wife sexual pleasure. So she's not satisfied. You only get your rocks off. And then this woman goes out and she sees a young boy who wants to give her pleasure. Like, we need to acknowledge that African women also have feelings, bro. So I think that's part of the reasons why this paternity fraud stuff is on the rise, in my opinion. It's not the main reason, but I think it's a reason. I mean, I don't remember the data, but a large percentage of women globally have not orgasmed. A large percentage of women in the West have not orgasmed through a man. Imagine that number in Africa. And we as African men, we often forget that African women also have feelings. They've got vajayjay, they've got tits. They are sexual creatures. We are all sexual creatures. And sex in itself is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. We all need sex. We are all here because of sex. Let's not try and codify things. We're animals. We are sexual animals. And I feel like in the African context, we forget that a lot, that African women also need that stuff. But anyway, Saga, go ahead. The floor is yours. What do you want to say, bro?
All I'm saying is, right, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, like, would you not say that also the men can also work on themselves in terms of their health, in terms of making women orgasm as well? Because that's also that's also a part that plays as well.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean,
absolutely.
so
Yeah.
if you love someone, right, and you love them for their personality, but they're not 100%, but they're trying their best. I mean, you don't want to go and pick up you don't want to go and pick up another man's piece from another person because his one is better. But he could have been around multiple women as well, and you can later on get infected as well. So I mean,
I don't
as long as that man, what I'm saying is, right, he can be with your man, but he might not be the best in bed. But he's putting effort in. He's training. He's putting more effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying you can go and pick up from another guy on a one night stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he might be a ran through guy. He might be on a shower too, where
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't get tested and he just sleeps with you because you asked him to. You know, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of BLK men, for some reason, have this easy mentality of saying, yes, yes, I want to sleep with you instantly without
I
even
think
even asking those.
black men gotta be the easiest men in the world for sure. But anyway, go on. I
Yeah,
think
they are. I'm
we
sorry,
gotta
they are. Like
we
in
gotta
terms
use
of like
yeah
if you go to a gas station, right, and then a
yeah
BOK woman or YT woman says he wants to sleep with her, oh, the BOK member like, yep, yep, but you have to pay $20. Oh, they'll back up their bank account quick. Yep, what's your transfer?
yep
What's your details? And they
yep
will do it. I mean, in
agreed
terms of in terms of self control, a lot of them do lack self control.
yep
But I'm saying if the women really wanted to protect themselves, right? You will know this guy is a degenerate and he's being ran through. Why would you want to sleep with someone who you haven't even vetted yet? Like he even like seen how he is around other people. Do you know what I mean?
I hear what you I
But you
hear
know
what
your man for like 20 years, you know your man for 15 years, you know he's not the best in bed. But one day he just said, you know what, I'm pregnant, but I'm not gonna sleep with another guy because I'm pregnant. That's even crazy. Like to sleep with someone whilst you're pregnant, that's a bit mad.
I feel like you're creating scenarios that are out there kind of, but I do
No, but
believe
those scenarios are true though. I've heard women who are pregnant literally sleep with another guy, or even worse, right? Is when they even married, and you know the married woman could sleep with another guy because she liked him, but she wanted to get married to the other guy who loved. But like, it's like you have slept with the guy that you're not even married to, versus the guy who's you're actually marrying and you're sleeping behind his back, and then you know, that's how the paternity fraud stories happen because it can be that, oh, the day that you was pregnant with, when I was pregnant with your child, I slept with so and so with this guy. That's why maybe you took so long to calm down and get ready in a wedding. I'm just saying, because you know, these true stories do reveal later on. And then 10 years, 15 years, the, they're supposed to be the father of your child has been looking after another man's kid for God knows how long and he's still out here. The person that she slept with is still out there, or he's still out there, just behaving the same way. Do you like get the cycle of it?
yeah, I mean, but yeah, this is as old as time itself. I want to make that very
Mm.
clear. It's not new, right? This has been if you're reading history, there's a lot of it's just that now we put a name on it. This paternity fraud and people men cheating on their wives cheating on their husbands. It's not new. But I feel like a lot of people like to romanticize the past a lot. People were fucking each other back in the 1950s, buddy. Back in the 1920s as well. Our great grandmothers were not as innocent as we think they are. They were still getting piped down by but, you know, it's not new. I think maybe that's why I'm a bit desensitized to all these things that we as Africans like to think it's so sacred. It's not, right? Especially, but I want to bring you back to the main point. I personally think that when it comes to African context, people need to understand that sexual compatibility is actually very important even before you get into any marriage or even any serious relationship, you need to make sure both of you are sexually compatible, in my opinion. I feel like the reason why this paternity fraud could be a thing, in my opinion, Sarga, is a lot of African couples, home and abroad, are not sexually compatible. And let's not try and, curl ourselves in a ball here. Sex is very important. Good sex is very important. Great sex is amazing. It's awesome. You can overlook a lot of things when you guys are sexually compatible. That's how important sex is for women and men. And I think that because in the African context we look down on sex so much, people just get married, people just get into serious relationship because it's the right thing to do, or because he or she comes from the right family, and or you're getting older. There's a sense of fear within the African context. So people just get married because it's you're there, and nobody thinks about the emotional compatibility. Are two of you emotionally compatible? Are two of you sexually compatible? I refuse to be told that sexual compatibility between men and women are not critical. I think that is critical for your relationship. And of course, when you guys are not sexually compatible, and also don't forget, in the African context, sex is so taboo, especially for the women. She cannot tell the man what she wants. She cannot tell you, oh, I like it from the back, or I like it from the side, or I like it from the front. She can't tell the man that, because now if she says that in an African home, the man is going to be looking at her weird. So she can't bust a nut, but the man can bust a nut. You cannot experiment anything. You can't do anything. I mean, I'm just looking at things from the other side. So of course, the woman's gonna be like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna, I'm gonna get married to you, give you the status, whatever. But I'm gonna go outside and find Tommy from the block who is willing to bust it down for me." That's why, Sarga. That's why for me, I focus on the men. And I've said this many times to African men. Like a lot of African men, you guys gotta learn. You guys gotta be more open-minded, bro. You got to understand that when you
Okay, so
when you're engaged, don't let me land. I'm going to land in 30 seconds. When you are getting into a relationship and in a marriage, you got to listen to what your woman wants too, so you can also satisfy her. I'm not saying this is going to end all the things going on, but we need to do more of that as African men. Because I'm a man.
okay,
I'm not going to
can I
point
ask
the
you
finger.
something?
I'm not going to point the finger at women and say, "Oh, it's women, it's women." That's stupid.
Can
You
I
know what
ask
I
you
mean?
something? What about if they're both virgins then? Because like, what if there's African men who are people who are believers of being virgins until marriage?
Mm-hmm.
What about those who have never had those experiences in the bed? Like, how do you determine someone's sexual compatibility if they never slept around? They've just been virgins. That's the same as women, because a lot of African women do hold on to their virginity until marriages as well. So like, what would
Yeah.
you say to that? What would you say to those type of African men and women?
Okay, so for me, I think that's risky. To be honest, I've never been a fan of the virginity stuff. I don't care for it. I think it doesn't mean anything. Those are just societal things. Again, I may be the wrong guy because I'm not religious, by the way, Sargar. So I don't have any of those things tied to me. I think it's risky because, and if and by the way, just so you know, a lot of a lot of virgins that got married to each other, a lot of them at some point when they start, well, it could work in a way because that you're their first, so they don't know anything different. They don't even know what they like typically. So my advice to them would be, whatever. If you're doing it because of religious reasons, fair enough. But I am a big fan that people need to experiment first before they take any serious commitment. That's just my opinion, Sarga. So that may not be an answer to you, but I do believe that
No, I,
if
I hear what you're saying, right?
but
So
you gotta let me land, bro. You just let me land. Because
sorry, my bad, my
yeah,
bad, my
I
bad, my
swear,
bad. No, I thought you
don't
was landed. That's
take your
why.
time. And when I land, I will tell you. I guarantee you that. Okay, I swear to God, I'm gonna land. I'm gonna land shortly. For me, I'm looking at this from a practical standpoint. I know a lot of Africans have a lot of cultural, traditional stuff. I am not that, and I've made that very clear from the beginning. But I personally think that knowing your sexual compatibility with your partner is critical because that is the person you're going to be in a long-term relationship with. That is somebody you're going to be in a marriage with potentially. So you have to make sure those boxes are ticked. I don't believe in waiting until marriage. I don't believe that. To me, I also don't believe in body count. I don't believe in body count, but that's just me. That's just me. Maybe I'm a weird guy. I land, Sarga. What do you got to say, brother?
So what about those men who don't get no women? Do you think they should like have a test drive with an shower, like maybe call her and
Yeah.
just pay her
Yeah.
because you
Yes.
know?
Yes. Yeah. I have no
So
see,
you think?
Saga, man to man, bro, man to man. I feel like a lot
Of
of
course, yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. So I believe that there are some men that struggle with women. That's a fact. You understand? Me, I've never struggled with women. Never really. I've had some dry periods, especially in my early 20s. Now I don't struggle with women. I recommend if you're a guy, you must have some type of practice. To me, if you are struggling with women, for whatever the case is, pay. Pay for it. If you've got to pay for it, go pay for it, man. It is what it is. Practice. Learn how to do it. It's important. Let's sex is important. It is. And one thing, and I made a video on my other YouTube channel that the reason why a lot of men struggle with women is because they don't know how to perform sexually, right? And they don't know how to perform sexually, number one, and also because they don't know how to They don't know how to make their woman comfortable with them for her to tell him what she likes. A lot of African men are judgmental. A lot of black men are too judgmental. You're too judgmental. Because if the woman tells you, oh, can we try this? Can we try that? Can we try? Oh, where did you learn that from? Where did you get that from? And that's why for me, if I reflect on my sexual life, it's been pretty good. Because for me, I'm not judgmental. Women tell me what they. In fact, women have told me things that they probably would never tell any other guy. Because you know why? I don't judge them. Tell me what you like, bro. Tell me your style. It is what it is. No judgment here. And you know the reward of that? Freedom. Open. Even till today, if I call them, I probably still have access to them if I want. But because they were open,
Yeah, but so okay.
yeah, go on.
No, I'm saying that. What if you're married though? Like, would you still want to sleep around if you're married and stuff? Because I mean, marriage is a biblical time, right? I know you're not religious, but I mean, if two people are in a committed relationship and stuff, right?
Mhm.
You know, would you and your wife's not satisfying you with sex? Would you
Yep.
want to go and cheat on her while she's giving birth to your children already and stuff?
So correction. Marriage is not a biblical term. Marriage is a social term.
So
Correction.
so you think it's a social time? So you,
It
you
is
don't
a so
believe in the Bible and
it's
stuff?
not no marriage. Marriage is not a biblical term. Marriage has always existed. Some type of union. It might not be called marriage, but a union between human beings has always existed since the caveman time. It's not biblical. That's another thing
Okay,
with
fair
Africans. A
enough.
lot of Africans go, no. See, it's critical. You see, this is important. A lot of Africans always, you see, we look at things from a book that was given to us. See, this is why I'm quite open because I look at life from the broad sense. Since if you go, even sex, marriage, and unions, it has existed since the caveman time. And by the way, during the caveman time, the caveman meets a cave woman and they come together to raise a child. Once the child reaches a certain age, the man typically leaves and the woman typically leaves when the child is of a certain age, independent. So when we say, oh, marriage is a biblical term, that's not true. Marriage has always existed. Human beings have always existed in groups, in community, in communal. Now, the biblical thing, the religious thing, be it Islam, be it Christianity, be it other religions, now that is, in my opinion, it's man-made. That is societal. Society is created by human beings, and that is imposed on people. So that's where all these other restrictions come about. Now, to your question to me, I'm not the guy who marriage is not something that I'm not a guy that's actually looking to get married. If it happens, it happens. But I'm not the kind of guy like, oh, I want to get married. So that's why maybe I'm not the right guy for you to answer that question because I have a very different mindset on this stuff. You know what I mean? Marriage is not really something that I think I will do.
Marriage, even that's when you make children after.
Mhm.
Like, do you not believe in those terminologies of, you both sacrifice the marriage and you both, you know, follow it plays into religion, but what I'm saying is, right, essentially, do you not believe that you should have a nuclear family instead of like spreading yourself around the whole world? Because I know a lot of Nigerian men like to spread themselves around, like, and have different baby moms and different children from across the world. Like,
So
do you believe in that terminology?
now let me clarify something. I think you're looking at things in a linear way. 1 + 1 = 2. Just because I don't believe in marriage doesn't mean I believe in fucking everything that moves. I have a very strong sexual discipline. I haven't been intimate with a woman in the past 3 months by choice. I sleep around, okay? And I do believe in the concept of a nuclear family. I just think that if it's done right, it's done right. Right? Is it healthy? I care about the health of it. And just because somebody is not in a nuclear family doesn't mean they are doomed. I believe that it's all about the role models, it's all about the environment, because you can be in a two-parent home and it's toxic as fuck. All right, and I don't know why society likes to look at things from a linear standpoint. 1 + 1 = 2, right? If you look at America, for example, these kids that go about shooting up mass shooters in America, I'm sure you're aware of what I'm talking about. Most of them come from two-parent household,
Yeah.
religious and all, Christian father, Christian mother, Republican state. On paper, what people would say, oh, perfect for society, but their kids end up being traumatized. Abuse still happens in the nuclear family where there's a father and mother in the home. Domestic violence still happens when there's a father and mother in the home. My point is this: it's all about the health. How healthy is that environment? There are people that are raised by single mothers who turn out to be top quality people in the world because it's a healthy environment. There are people who are raised in two parents household in the suburbs, go to church every Sunday, and turn out to be goddamn psychopaths. There are serial killers who had two parents in the homes, everything, went to private university, and still ended up being serial killers. There are people who were raised by single mothers, right, and ended up being serial killers too. So it's all about environment and of the draw. I don't see things in a linear way. That's just my point overall. If that's what somebody wants to do, go for it. I don't care. It's all about the health of that setup. If that answers your question.
You're making good points. It's just yeah, you're making good points, but I would also say that, on certain in certain parts you're right. Like marriages will always be toxic, and traditional values will always be toxic. But you know, the two-parent household is, I mean, is preferably, but at the same time, you can a single mother can raise a good man. But it's just like, depending how rare it is, it's very rare to see that. But maybe like successful people like LBJ, and because he was raised by a single mother.
Who's
He
OBJ?
look at him
Oh,
now. He's
LeBron
got a
James. Okay,
two-parent
okay.
household.
Yeah.
Yeah, LBJ, and then you got Lamelo Ball. So that's another one as well, where he's got two brothers called Lonzo Ball and I forgot the other one's name. But yeah, they're also raised by a two-parent household. So I mean, you are right in some
Yeah.
contexts,
It's
but
the luck
you
of the
see, the
draw.
thing is, right, one of them has got 3 to 4 baby moms on the way. I think it's the older one out of the Bulls family.
I
He's
don't
got the one
use
that's on the way.
I don't use basketballers as my standard of success. Genuinely, I don't use athletes or entertainers. I don't. I think they're terrible people to use as an example of morals. I don't use them. If you're gonna use, but I understand why people would use them because they are public figures and everybody typically knows who they are. But
Yeah.
I don't like to use athletes because they are a very small, tiny group of the human population, and they live a different lifestyle altogether than the average man. I typically speak on average people. Those are multimillionaires. I'm not. They've got the camera in their face for 7. I don't. You don't. But I get why people would use them as an example. I just don't. I don't think it's a fair comparison. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's tricky to
So
some
what would you
extent.
say to those guys who are in their late 30s with no children and stuff? Because a lot of the African aunties and stuff say, "Oh, when are you getting married?"
Fuck
What
them.
about those who are in their 30s trying to pressure their sons and daughters to get married,
Tell
but
your
like
parents.
they're like
Tell,
not
who
saying,
cares? Who cares? Who cares what they want?
yeah,
This is something I want all. This is something I want Africans to understand, especially our generation, Sarga. We are not our parents. It's your choice. If you don't want to get married, you don't get married. And this is to the African women as well, and to the African men as well. It's your life. Live your life. You guys know me how I hold African parents' generation to account, bro. I don't take it easy on them because we as African youth, we have a legitimate gripe against them. I refuse to live the life through the lens of a previous generation that has absolutely traumatized us as a collective and built absolutely nothing for us as a collective. If you're going to raise kids, are you in the right mental state? Do you know how damaged the average African youth's mentality is because of how we were raised as a collective? And you want them to bring more kids? You want your African youths that are to bring kids into African spaces in Africa. Let's take Africa for example. Pick any African country. Pick any black African country. Forget North Africa. I don't typically consider them as African. I consider them Arab.
um,
But no, let me
you
land.
can throw in Mali. Oh, okay. I thought you said pick though. I was gonna
No, no,
answer.
no, 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 no. I'm speaking rhetorically.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I
My
was,
bad, my bad, my
when
bad.
I say pick, right? When I say pick any black African country, I'm talking sub-Saharan Africa. Every single black African country is chaotic as fuck. Poverty, military coup, lack of infrastructure, all sort of things. They cannot even take care of the current young African population. And you want to bring more in to have more kids with what? With what infrastructure? So my answer to you, Sarga, is this: do not live your life through the lens of the previous generation. If you want to have your kids, fine. But if you do not want to have your kids, do not let anybody pressure you, because if you are not in the right mental state, you're only going to pass your trauma to that child. If you are not financially stable, you're bringing more mouths to feed, hence creating the cycle, enhancing the cycle. That's why I'm free. Even my parents know. I'm the black sheep of my family. I don't give a damn. I'm free. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to get married. It's never appealed to me. It's never appealed to me. I also never wanted kids. I don't believe, I want to leave a legacy. I don't care, but if I ever become rich, I'm gonna give money to some organization somewhere to carry on, do whatever they want to do. That's the way I look at life. I don't look at life as life is not that deep to me. You understand me? Ever since I walked away from organized religion, life is not that deep to me. I feel like as human beings, we give life too much credit. Life is not that deep. When you die, you're going to be forgotten in less than 2 weeks. Trust me. Do you remember the greatest man that lived 60 years ago? There are kids that are born today. They don't know who Michael Jackson is. If you ask the average 13-year-old who is Michael Jackson, huh? That is us. And that's Michael Jackson. So that's the way I look at life. And because I look at life that way, okay, I'm free. Very free. I come from a small family too, so and anybody that's not my dad, my mom, my sister, I don't really care for your opinion. But I land. I don't know if Saga, I don't know if that's, I know it's long-winded, but that's the way I look at life. I recommend it. I actually wish more Africans would take that mindset. You'll be very free.
Hi. I was hearing a little bit of what you guys were talking, but I'm guessing you guys have already gone far away from the prompt.
You can go back to the prompt. It's no problem. Just speak on what brought you up.
Okay. So I was hearing you when you said the part of, how it is, how the previous generation of Africans have been forcing, our generation to get kids and get married, and they think that like life is all about having children and get married. Especially, I can give you the perspective of an African woman. I'm not a man, so I don't know how your experience would be. But from a woman's perspective, it's like having a husband and having kids is like our solely purpose of life. Like there's nothing else that can make you happier than having children and get married. Like they tell you, it's so funny because like they tell you, for example, me, right? I'm 27 now. And like growing up, like African parents, they're telling you to avoid boys, right? First of all, they barely even tell you anything about what a period is when you do get your period. And then they tell you to avoid boys, right? And then after you turn like 20, perhaps, now they're telling you, no, where's your husband? You need to go find a husband. It's like during those years, you made me avoid boys at all cost. You didn't even teach me how to vet of what is a good man, like what is a good husband. I mean, it's understandable if I'm a teenager and you're telling me, no, don't date right now, and then you're giving me good reasons to why I should date. You're teaching me how I would have to date when I grow up, so I can choose a good husband, right? They don't teach you absolutely nothing. They teach you absolutely nothing, and then when you suddenly turn like 20 or so, now they're asking you, oh, where's your husband? You need to find a husband. It is like, would the husband just magically appear in front of my door or something? And then when you do choose a bad husband, right? Because they're forcing you to get married, so you let's say you find someone and you get married, and you might have made a bad choice because you know absolutely nothing about dating because they don't teach you anything. And it's not like it's normalized in African households to talk about relationships with your parents, like you talk about dating with your parents. So when you do make a bad choice and you end up in a bad marriage, they just tell you to, what's it called, endure it just for the sake of being married. It's absolutely ridiculous. Me and my older sisters, we went into this whole thing completely blindly. Blind. We learned everything along the way. And that causes a lot of suffering for, for children, especially when you can't talk about it with your parents or like really close family. You have to go to talk to friends. Let's say you have other African friends and they don't know this, they don't know how to date either because they're also Africans and they grow up in the same kind of household. So now we are all trying to figure the whole thing out. So it just causes unnecessarily hurt.
Exactly.
And as you said,
Yeah.
and then as you said,
lady, please keep your thoughts, okay? But you made a very good point that I want to emphasize. Do you see how generational trauma is created? That is how it's created. You understand what I mean?
exactly.
Because even myself, I'm 30 years old now. I had to learn how to start what dating even was at the age of like 22. And my experience is not is your experience too, but it's not unique to me. It's unique to a lot of African youths. We don't know how to date because we didn't see it. We didn't know that there's a vetting process involved. And we didn't know that dating is not just, my wife, you're my husband, you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend. There's a lot of emotional things in there. There's a lot in there. It's not just, oh, where's your husband? Where's your boyfriend? You know what I mean? There's a critical thing because if you don't know how to date, imagine you don't know how to date. I don't know how to date. We partner up. And now we are now living under the map of the other generation, the father, the mother, the grandfather, the grandmother, who are telling us what we should do. And we haven't figured ourselves out yet. And we bring two kids into this mess. Do you see how chaotic that even but that is ours, that is how our parents brought us into this world. Just continue your point. I just wanted to emphasize that.
No, I thank you for, emphasizing that because it is very chaotic. And I see in so many instances of what you said, young people getting married very early, especially the women, like, because I'm a woman, I can only literally give you a woman's perspective. It's like, if say young girl, I've met a lot of young girls in their early 20s because I'm in my late 20s now. And they're like, oh, I got married. What are you older women doing? Like they brag it in your face. And we're all like, first of all, congratulations if you got married, right? We're not bitter that you got married in your early 20s. But why did you feel the need to rub it on our face? Well, because, she's very young and she probably has been raised in a way to think that marriage is everything in life.
I met a lot of black women, right, that say they want marriage within a certain type of year. Like, they can have their little phase, whatever, at a young age, and then when they get to like 29, 30, they want to get married. And I just think, I mean, it's kind of a problem because, you've just got to know me and you want to get married within next year. So I think that's also the problem as well. A lot of them say, I want marriage within 1 year. And I'm thinking marriage, it just sounds like you're not really understanding that, marriage is something that is, you got to sacrifice to you for good. Like, there's vows and stuff to it. So when a lot of African women are saying, I want marriage within next 2 years, next 1 year, it's just like, it's a bit delusional to me. Like, I just think it's not possible to get married within 1 to 2 years. It's just very delusional when I hear a lot of African women saying that. It's just very delusional. I just think to myself, that's just rushing marriage for no reason, instead of actually,
getting to know the
understanding
person
what
and
marriage
seeing if
is.
you're compatible.
Yeah, and that's from my day in life. A lot of them want to. I like African women, but a lot of them just want to get married at a fast age, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. You have to go to someone else because I'm not gonna marry anyone, and then and just like get divorced within the next year because,
But
it's like we both had issues, but we both couldn't eradicate it together,
well,
So it's just like I feel like that's also a problem too.
when it comes to marriage, as I mentioned before, first of all, a lot of African women, they're just rushed, like you said, like they want to get married within a year or two, but probably because they're pressured to do so. They're not really necessarily
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
affecting you, or if you're compatible, or such and such, etc. She wouldn't be getting married in a year. She would say that's a bit scary. That's a leap, you know. She would have probably maybe said, okay, we can be engaged after 2 to 3 years because that's enough time to at least get to know each other. And then maybe get married a year or two later. So that would probably be around 4 to 5 years from the day you guys got into a relationship, because both of you need to know each other. And it takes a very, very long time. For example, me and my boyfriend, we've been together for 6 months and we're moving in together next year because we want to actually like try out how it is to live together, because we have not lived together. Our goal is to get married. We want children. We want to, do the whole dealio. Children, house, get married, all that stuff. But that would be in our early 30s because we have set like around an estimation of time to have that. So we are currently, what I would say is that we had the same goals from the get-go. No one was forced. No one was coerced to look to. When we both met each other, we talked about it. We sat down. I said, this is what I want. He said, that's what he wants. So there's no confusion. So if you feel like you don't want to get married just yet, and then you meet a person who wants to get married, then you should not date that person. Both of you have to have the same mindset and the same goal. You both have to be going towards the same way.
Yeah.
If you're going left and she's going right, it won't work.
Yeah, I agree. And you made another great point, Sarga also, and Lady. I feel like in general, a lot of people are not honest with what they want, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to speak as an African man. Maybe Sarga can also comment on this, and then maybe you can speak on it, Lady. I think as African men, a lot of us, we think that there's only one way. I am an exception with my way of life and the way I look at life. I am an exception because I decided to live my life on my own terms and to be honest with myself. Like someone like me, I don't have paternal instinct. You know what I mean? I don't have it. I don't have that. And I was honest with it. I've also never been the kind of guy that's like, oh, I can't wait to get married. I can't wait to get a girlfriend. It's never been me. And I told my parents, like, I don't feel it. You know what I mean? Like, you asked me earlier, you were like, oh man, get married, Sarga, get married, get kids. I was like, never been my thing. But I accept it. I know that. But I feel like a lot of African men, because of our conditioning and how we've been programmed, a lot of us think it's, I must find a girlfriend and I must get married to her because this is what must be done. And then they get into and because they think that's what must be done, they lie to themselves. They lie to some woman somewhere, get married to her to tick a box, not because they actually want to, but because they think it's the right thing to do, because that's what society wants. That's what mommy wants, daddy wants, grandpa wants, grandma wants, for the status. And once they get into that marriage, that's when you start hearing things like, oh, he's not emotionally available. What is the common things women always talk about when they talk about African men? I'm Nigerian. I'm assuming you're Ghanaian. But one thing women say about Nigerian men, oh, Nigerian men are not emotionally available. He's distant. He doesn't listen to me. Because the guy he saw marriage as a box to tick. He didn't consider the woman when he was getting married. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't consider her when he was getting married. He saw her like a placeholder. I don't think I'm saying it the right way, but my point is that is a key part of it, especially for African men. A lot of African men are not honest with what they want. They are not honest with what they want. A lot of African men think It's either I have to get married because it's the thing to do, not because it's what I want. It's because it's the thing to do. When they get into that marriage and then they realize this is for life, bro. That's why you have things like cheating all the time, emotionally distant. He's not present. That's what I think is part of the
The
reason.
host, I'll come back here.
Yeah, no problem, Mr.
Yeah, I'm
Bro.
gonna lose network. Yeah,
No worries,
cool.
man. What do you think,
Can
lady?
so I agree with what you're saying, but I'm gonna give you my thoughts on what you just said. There's two sides to this. Number one, as you said, like where men only get married because they feel like they have to because they're pressured to about society. But I think also a lot of these males are not actually consciously aware that they're getting married because what's it called? They're not consciously aware that they're getting married just because society is pressuring them because they are not emotionally intelligent enough. And you know how it is in Africa. You know, you're the man of the house, you're the leader. Cool, I agree, sure. But you have to also be emotionally intelligent, which is not something that unfortunately in African households they teach the men, right? Right. With the emotional part, to be aware of their own emotions or how they feel about certain things. Number two, it would be what's it called? I forgot. I think I might have forgotten what I was supposed to say.
No, you can think on it. No worries. You can think on it
Yeah.
while I bring other people in. Annie, are you there?
Okay. Hello. You okay?
I'm doing well, Annie. How are you doing?
I'm good. I've been listening to all
Are
of
you
you for the
African?
past am I African? No.
Okay. Go on.
Sorry, is it just for African people?
Well, it's Africans on their dating experience, but go on. You're here already.
My man is Igbo, so I'm kind of half there. I just wanted to say that I was listening to you for the past 30-40 minutes or something, and it's very educational. Because obviously I've been with my man for like year and a half now, and I'm listening to what you're saying. Because obviously it's different culture. I'm Polish, so uh, I just want to learn the culture. I want to learn the views. Want to learn how everything is like. Well, expectations and stuff. But what I wanted to say, when you were saying that people expect you to get married and have a baby and all that stuff. I mean, like, I've never been pressured by my boyfriend to. I mean, he's always set the expectations from the very beginning, but he never pressures me to do anything. So, what does that mean? Yeah, we're in the UK. We live together. We've been living together like for a while and stuff.
Okay. So are you asking me a question or is that like a
Yeah, I'm asking you a question. What does that mean? Like, thing
okay.
is, like he took me back to Poland because he wanted to meet my family. Now we go into Nigeria in a few weeks. Does that mean that it's moving too fast? Is it because of maybe he's being pressured?
I don't know.
'Cause-
Well,
I don't
we can.
know.
But just don't
I-
go
Well,
listening
it
to
seems,
all.
at least it seems that he is serious enough to, be willing to go meet your parents and to bring you to Nigeria, to meet his family.
Anya,
At least I would say
Anya,
that.
no, lady. I'll let the ladies speak first, then I'll speak because so that I think it's fair for the women to all because they're African women,
Yeah,
so they can speak on it.
please,
So
because
Anya and
I'm
Becca, if you
literally
wanna take this, yep.
Well, as I was saying, at least he's serious enough to want to go see your family and bring you to his family. But are you agreeing? Because you said earlier that he set the tone to the relationship. Was it so that he wanted to get married eventually and get kids?
well, that's what he like. This is when it all started. Basically, he was very straightforward. When the host said he's straightforward, that he doesn't feel parental or whatever. When me and Jacoba started dating,
Because marriage is not just marriage. Like, you are supposed to give it your all. Like the divorce is, divorce. I'm not saying that you can't divorce, because I am pro divorce, but just know that marriage is not a joke. That smallest little problem, you just get a divorce. You actually have to try genuinely to fix it. Both of you, not just you. Both of you.
3 years ago, I came out from a relationship that I've been in for like 16 years. We've got 2 children with my ex and everything. So for 3 years, I was single, and then I met him, and it's just Anya was the age gap between us is 4 years.
Can I ask you a question, Anya? Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like there's something you are not sure about. There's something you're worried about that you're not.
No, but this is what I'm saying. I think I've just got to delete TikTok, because every time I go on TikTok, it's just all this stuff that it's Nigerians this, Nigerians that, Nigerians this,
Yeah,
and
but
shit.
no, no, no.
And I'm
Okay,
like,
so
what the
okay,
heck?
It's not a little bit. If you're going to be in that kind of relationship, you have to know that he's as much cautious of you as you are of him. Trust, it doesn't, just because you're Polish doesn't mean that you have equity of trust or you're necessarily a better person than he is. So you cannot, you shouldn't judge and you shouldn't care. I'm married to a white man. I have every reason to worry that he would chop me up and put me in the freezer because of all the stereotypes. But I'm here with an open mind. And I'm also learning every day that these kinds of relationships, they have very unique challenges in that the cultural difference is there, the opinions of other people. So unless there's something else that you're worried about, because he's, in my own perspective, hearing what you've said, he sounds like he's on the right track. And if you're worried that he's rushing, he probably is also worried about your age, because like you said in the beginning, he told you he wants to have children. So I think that's something you need to decide if that's what you want to do, because that's what he wants, basically. And he has told you that, you know.
So you are 100% correct. Yeah, even when we went to the doctors and everything, they said that we don't have much time with my age.
Which is no. So he probably is rushing because he probably sounds like I don't know this guy, I don't know you. But I think he's taken steps. He's gone to see your family. He's taking you to Nigeria. He must be serious about you. But he's
Exactly.
children. That's it. So if he sounds like he's rushing you, he wants to have children. That's it.
And also, Anya, like Miss Becca said, like you shouldn't be worried about outside noise. You should be that is your person, okay? That is your person. And it's your job to vet that person and have your own opinions based on your experience with him personally.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't worry about outside noise. Oh, Nigerian man like this, I'm Nigerian man like that, blah blah blah. I'm together with a Congolese guy, and I used to have also a lot of bad things about Congolese people.
Listen, I talked to my mom about it and everything. All my friends here, all my Polish friends or English friends met him, and everybody says like, "Why are you listening to all that TikTok bullshit?"
It's
yeah, so
bullshit.
that's
Nigerian
so
men are-
okay. So
Let's
thank you, I know, and lady. So this I think Nigerian men, we get a lot of bad rep. It's not fair, genuinely. There's a lot more productive, great Nigerian men out there than they are not. And whenever I hear that, I hear a lot of bullshit about Nigerian men, I feel like it's the kind of places you go to, because I don't see that on my FYP. So this is on you, Anya. What kind of pages do you?
Hey, you sound like my boyfriend now. Like, but I don't
No,
search
please,
for it.
please,
It just
please
comes.
do not interrupt me, please. I let you speak.
Hello.
I let you speak, right? Please, I don't like when people
Mm.
interrupt. I let people speak. I give them, even if they speak for
Yeah,
30
yeah.
minutes, I let them. So please do not. There's a lot more productive, great Nigerian men out there than they are not. And if you come on TikTok and all you hear is negative things about Nigerian men, it's because of the places you go to. So the question is, what kind of things do you see? I mean, when I open my TikTok, I see Nigerian men that are creating solutions. I mean, I opened my TikTok today. I saw the CEO of Red Lobster, Demola. I don't remember his last name. He's Nigerian in America doing fantastic things. I see content creators that are Nigerian men also doing fantastic things. So my point is, anytime I see people, Nigerian, African or not, or non-Africans talking, "Oh, this is what I see about Nigerian men," it's because of the kind of low vibrational things you typically go to. I don't, because social media is a reflection of what you click on. That's one thing people don't understand. If you click on something enough, that's what algorithm is going to give you. Social media is literally a reflection of what people want. So I personally don't like when I hear people say, "Oh, Nigerian man." I feel like we get a lot of negative representation. I think a lot of women that have been hurt. And usually, one thing that I've noticed as well is anytime women, again, I'm not talking about you, Annie, I'm speaking broadly. Anytime women talk about Nigerian men, they always ignore that those men that they complain about, they pick those men. Those men would never have access to you if you did not give them access to you. I mean, there was a time on TikTok where they always like, "Oh, but Nigerian men always use women for passport." My question to them is then, can you tell me the caliber of Nigerian men you're dealing with? My caliber of Nigerian men, I don't need any woman, white or black. Every single thing I have, I earned with my intellect. So why the fuck would I need to use a woman for anything? I don't need you. Does that make sense? When women make those kind of all this thing I say about Nigerian men, what kind of Nigerian men are you dealing with? Because you're for sure not dealing with my caliber, right? I'm 8+ years B2B sales, degree in finance, speaks 3 languages. There are certain groups of women that don't have access to me. I'm not trying to sound braggadocious. There's a certain level of women that will not have access to guys like myself, and that's okay. But oftentimes, a lot of women, African or not, because it's not only non-African, because I've heard African women speak about different types of Nigerian men, those men are your level. That's something people don't want to talk about. Those men you are complaining about, those men are at your level. I'm sorry. Because those men also don't have access to certain women. But anyway, I land my plane there. But Anya, it sounds to me that you guys like each other, right? And that sounds good, right? It sounds good. So yeah, I don't know. I think the lady spoke well. I don't know. Do you have any more questions so that we can move on, Anya?
No. I was just gonna say, you've got degree in finance. I'm doing my degree in finance now.
Oh,
I've got
congratulations.
bachelor's in
Nice.
I've got bachelor's in political science and social science, and my man's got a master's in civil engineering and project
Congratulations.
management.
Yeah,
So we're doing well. We're not.
that's good.
Is
That's good to
he
hear.
is he very supportive of your education, of you studying?
That's good.
Yes.
Is he usually supportive of your goals?
Yeah. Very.
That's very
Yeah,
good.
Very much.
that's good. No,
That's
that's
a
very
good.
and I'm glad that's the case, Anya, because I feel like as a Nigerian man, as a proud Nigerian man, there's like I know a lot of Nigerian men here where I am, right? And even the ones that are in Germany, in the UK, even in America, even in Nigeria. Our social class, like this, these men are, I'm not saying they're millionaires. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not, right? I could be in the future, who knows? But even right now, like I'm not rich by any means, but I don't like, you know what I mean? Like I don't need
Above average, as I say so.
I don't need to say, "Oh, I need a woman to give me some." No. I
Well, you
feel
know
like,
what?
yeah,
Since
go on.
we've been together, and especially since he moved in and everything, like he I've got to say, he is the man of the house, like helping out with jobs and stuff like that, and he keeps pushing me to come on, like finish this module, do this, and he's constantly training. He's like, I don't know, he's constantly like trying to better himself, and I love that
That's good.
about him.
That's good. Well,
Can I ask you a question, Anya?
Yeah.
I'll ask you a question because I want to wrap up. I want to get back to the main topic. I'll ask you a question, lady. Go ahead.
Because it seems like you say, and you both want kids, right? Which is a good thing. You both want children together.
No, we don't have children together.
No, that's why I said you guys want kids together.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys are have the same goal. Now
Mhm.
my question is, have you actually set him down and talked to him how you want to raise those children? Because this is a very important thing to talk about with your partner,
Yeah,
planning about
yeah.
children. Because we have to talk about how what he thinks about discipline, how he wants if he wants them to be raised religious.
No, we
Like if
already
it's a girl boy, like what about boyfriends and girlfriends, like sleepovers, etc. Those are
we
very
already
important things you have
already
to
had
talk
this
to
we already
him
had
about.
this conversation, and also he can see how I'm in my two boys. He tells me, okay, I agree with this and this because I'm quite strict, and he's quite strict as well. So he likes the way I address my boys. So he says, yeah, I'll be doing the same thing. So we're on the same kind of on the same level.
Please, can I ask her one last question, please? I like the things that you're saying, right? But one of the things I want to really bring to your attention, which is also what I see a lot on social media, is how white women raise black children. Now, you and I should say they are not black, they are mixed race, but the world sees them as black children. So is that something you are talking about, educating yourself about? Because that's something that I think, especially for a Nigerian man, can be very important. How are you, as a white woman, going to raise a black kid? Are you learning the culture? Are you, talking about how you're going to raise this specific kid in a Western world as a white woman because you're going to be raising a black kid?
No, it's a very difficult question. No.
Yeah,
Um,
you don't have to.
but see, I'm
You
not
don't.
even,
No, you don't have to
I'm
have
not
the
even,
answer.
I'm not even looking at it from a black or white perspective. I'm just gonna raise a kid as my kid that I love, and I'm gonna give the kid respect, and I'm gonna expect respect
Okay. So
back.
so Anya,
Understand?
Anya. The thing is this. That sounds great, but the world is gonna see that child as black and will be treated accordingly. But I don't want this conversation
And
to
so,
go.
and so, what's wrong with the world seeing a child as black? What's wrong with the world seeing people as black? I don't understand it.
You know, you okay? It's not our place to explain that to my dear. Okay, that's why I didn't want this to go anyway. But my point is
Okay.
what I am trying to say is this. Like Eno said, it is good. You have to learn, right? This is why personally, getting married to a non-African woman, it's just it's out of the books for me. I swear to God,
Damn.
it's to be honest, it's why for me. Eno knows this. I've said this many times. I don't know how to put this. I have nothing against interracial marriages. I genuinely don't. I have some friends that are married to um
So,
non-African.
what
Do
were
not
you
interrupt.
basically saying?
If you interrupt me, I'm gonna drop you. I've been very cordial.
Okay.
No vex, though.
It's part of the reasons why I don't. Notice I said non-African because even Black American, personally, I don't think I could marry a Black American woman. For me, even like the woman, for me, why if I get married, because marriage is not something that I'm actually like looking forward to. Even sometimes like serious dating, like she's gotta, for me, it's important that she some things you gotta get without me even telling you. You know this well. That's why for me, like when I'm looking into serious dating, it's difficult. That's why I just keep it casual because casual is easy to cut off and whatever. But it would be very, if I want to do something like serious dating, she has to be ideally Nigerian, ideally from my tribe, which is Ibibio. I am an Ibibio man. She has to, as specific as possible, because I want, if I'm going to have that committed marriage or relationship, I want my kids to be able to speak my local language, which is Ibibio or Efik. Number one. Number two, I don't need to be in a space where I have to explain stuff to you. I think I'm too lazy for that. So that's why for me, I just getting married to a non-Nigerian or non-West African woman would be even East Africa itself. Eastern Africa, North Africa for sure, not Southern Africa. Nah, she's got to come from Southern Nigeria or West Africa in general. And I'm willing to not get married if she doesn't tick those boxes. It sounds extreme, I know, but it's just to say, because I see people that are married to non-black women. I'm like, I don't think this is not go for Kenya. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just too much work. I don't know. Maybe I'm an extremist, and I don't shy away from it. I love women. I love ABBO women, ethnic women. There's not a lot of them abroad, that's for sure. But I don't know. That's my reasoning. That is my reasoning. Marrying a non-West African, non-Nigerian woman is just not feasible. Casually dating, sure. Having a serious, exclusive, committed relationship, nah. It just doesn't work. Culturally, logistically, socially, there's some nuances you gotta get that she just wouldn't get. Even if no matter how open-minded she is, she just wouldn't get. Like someone like Enona, right? There's certain things you would get, right? I don't need to explain to you. You'll get it. You know what I mean? Eno? Like you will get it. Like, bam. And I like that. It's for me, that's good. I don't need to be like, oh well, you see, honey, this and that and no, you've lost me. But anyway, that's me. I get it. It's not politically correct, but that's just me being honest. I do prefer if for marriage and anything serious, she's got to come from ideally my tribe. Lady Grace, you wanted no Anya wanted to say something because she's been very eager. I know I can assume what she's gonna say, but it is what it is. Go ahead, Anya, and then Lady.
I don't really want to say anything. Just say that it's all a matter of preference as well.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? You can't blame anybody for wanting to be with their own, and that's all. And you can't blame them for wanting to try somebody else. My Chekwumba, like, I'm his first girlfriend that's white, and he said he's not going back. He just wants me, and that's it. But that's what I'm saying. Like it depends on the character, on personality, how you vibe together. So it's a matter of preference, not about race, color, or not even culture, because we've got to be prepared to learn each other cultures. That's all I wanted to say.
I agree. No, you know what? I can't fault that. I agree. Everybody's preference. For me, the preference, like I said, for me, it's just important because I love my culture. I think it's one of the most beautiful culture in the world. I think the women from my culture are the most beautiful. I don't know if you know Ibibio women. In fact, let me show you guys something. Again, I have a great mother as well. So I think how you see your mother is actually, my mother is one of the best women in the world. My mother loves her culture. Let me show you guys why I'm so attracted to women from my tribe and my culture. Let me show you. Let me show you something that is gonna blow your mind. Let me show you guys one of the most beautiful. Look at this. Ah, shit.
Put it on the screen. We can barely see it.
Oh shit.
Can't see it. No.
Yeah, we can barely see it.
But
well, can I because I understand, I can give you example, Ania, of what host is talking about. For example, I am together with an African guy. He's Congolese. He comes from the neighboring country of mine, and we are both raised in Sweden. So we both live in Sweden. But the thing is, I have only dated Caucasian men, and he's the first black man, like the first African man that I've actually dated. Now, mind you, I've even been engaged with a Caucasian man before. And of course, culturally wise, we did clash, and it did create a lot of misunderstandings, very serious conversations all the time, because you had to sit down and take time, and they had to also be.
Lady, can you carry on talking?
Yes. So I've been with Caucasian men and everything. Of course, like you have to sit down constantly with them and explain things, which is what host was saying. He wants a woman who is from the same culture because he doesn't want to sit down and explain to them culture things, right? And the things that the other person also has to be willing and receptive. to learn, which can
Exactly.
take time, right? So now in my relationship with my African boyfriend, it's like conversations go very easily. If I say something, like I understand him immediately.
Look at this.
You know, we don't have to sit down and explain things very long. It's understandable,
Fuck is all this?
right?
Can
Cultures
I
are
just
very similar. So that's why I'm telling you that I
can I
understand
just
what
say
he's saying.
something
Yeah.
now about in response to this?
So
Um,
ladies. No, ladies, calm down. Look at the screen. Let's revel in this woman's beauty, I beg.
beautiful,
Look at
beautiful.
to me, as a crossbreed between Efik and Ibibio, this is the most beautiful woman to me. The culture, the feminine. So that's what I'm like. And just to add to what Gracie was talking about, if I talk to, she gets me. She understands me. She speaks a lot of things, even from a soul perspective.
First of all, women and the whole attire, everything's beautiful. And I really, really appreciate it. But what I wanted to respond to Gracie, I'm obviously like I'm Polish. Yeah? I've been with an English man for like 16 years, and we were clashing culturally. And obviously I'm white, he's white. But since I started being with my man, I can see that African culture is very similar. Nigerian culture is very similar to Polish. And we don't have to explain nothing to each other. It's basically the same thing. And we even had that conversation at the very beginning, like why Polish and Nigeria are so similar.
Religion, conservative culture is where the similarity is. And as our dear sister said before you, I am married to a German. And I think I was telling Kingsley this morning, that is the best man I've ever come across. Was he what I wanted? No. I wanted a Nigerian man. I was obsessed with Nigerian men. And as much as I love my husband, I love him so much, I could not even imagine life without him. I just want you to know that interracial marriages are not easy. That's all. You need to, no matter what you're similar, he's Catholic, I'm Catholic. We have that similarity, but we are also very different. We're very different. He's black, I'm white. And there are other external things, which is what, and when Kingsley said he doesn't want to explain things, you remember we're talking about children. When you have a child with your man, when you marry your man, when reality sets in and you experience a little bit of life from his perspective, because no matter how much you love him, people would not see him the way you see him. No matter how much you raise your child as a child that you love and blah, 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 the world doesn't see you. The world's like, yeah, that's still a half black child that we see as black, so we don't care. And all of those things, as much as you love your man, those pressures bring different things. I'll give you an example. The only reason why I'm with my husband, I've dated lots of Caucasian men as well, but the only reason why I married my husband, because I told him also, I was like, I'm very traditional. I don't want to explain. So there are things I want to do, I have to do by myself, or call my friends like, yeah, I want to go to African club to dance. Like, this man is not going to get it. I want to enjoy myself as an African, right? But I had to decide that I am okay to do those things by myself, even though I like to do it with a partner, which is also one of the reasons why I wanted to marry a Nigerian man. Did I find one was I lucky? I wasn't lucky. But I accepted my fate, and this is the most amazing human being. But as much as he loves me, he can never overcome the way that the world would treat me, the way that I can't even tell you my experience because we're on social media, but the only reason why I married him and with him is because he understood that. He saw, like, there are places we go, there's a way people look at me. He immediately gets it. I want you to know that not everybody's going to get it. And the second thing is, you cannot argue with your partner's reality, because as much as Polish culture is similar to Nigerian culture in terms of religion and conservatism, people would not treat your partner the way that you see him. The world will always oppose your relationship. And the worst thing that you're going to be able to do is to not see that, because then people would treat him microaggressively, even the child that you're going to have. But if you don't see it, it hurts the relationship.
Mhm.
So that's just what I was trying to say, that as much as you love him, he loves you, you have to now start opening your eyes. If something makes him uncomfortable, don't explain it to him, because you're not him. You're not experiencing the world as a black man who's with a white woman. He's experiencing it. And what I was talking to you about raising your child, you now have to go and find TikTok videos of people in these kinds of relationship, people that are healthy relationships. Not all men are trash, Nigerian men are trash. No, they are actually great relationships that work, because what they will teach you is that these kinds of relationships require a lot of work, flexibility, open-mindedness,
But
being
it's
fair.
it's too much work. I just don't have the energy.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand. Should I
I
what
mean,
should we do?
it's already
It's
again.
worth
This is just for me. This is just for me. I'm not
it's
trying to.
worth it if you're in love with somebody and you feel comfortable with each other and you feel like you don't want to live without each other, then it's worth it.
Anya, you need to sit down and talk to your partner about how his experience as a black guy, and you need to try to meet other black women, okay, and try to ask them what the
Yeah,
experience is as
well,
black women,
I
so
was
that you can get some sort of perspective on
yeah,
because
I was invited to his graduation. I met lots of his friends, constantly on WhatsApp with his cousins, the girls, and everything, and we get on. Like we get along.
well that's great. But I'm saying why I'm saying this is like as we were saying, Miss Becca and host was saying, it that when you have a mixed child, the world will see that child as a black child, and it's your jobs as parents to teach them about both cultures, Polish culture and
And
well,
Nigerian
the
culture,
Nigerian
of course.
culture.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like you won't really you won't 100% relate to your children because the experience will be different
Yeah.
based on their skin color. So that's why I'm telling you, you need to really, really start investigating, not online, but talk to people face to face, like real life people, on how the experience is of being black, right? Or if you know someone who is mixed, who has a mixed child, talk to that parent, talk to the child, and see what kind of experience they get so that you are well prepared when you do get a child. Because I've seen so many mixed children with white mothers, and these children know absolutely nothing about their African cultures.
Oh gosh, that
Mother
wouldn't be
doesn't
the
even
case.
know,
I know.
mother doesn't even know literally how to take care of their curly hair. I've seen so many children walking around with so crazy hair. Like it's just so sad to
No, I
see
just
how.
lady. Okay, because I want us to get back to the prompt. The thing is this: I feel like I've had opportunities to have something serious with non-African women. Notice I didn't say non. I even include other aspects of black women. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Even include some black women that I just cannot see myself having something committed and serious with. Includes even Caribbean women. I don't see myself having or getting married to a. She has to come from Nigeria, southern Nigeria at the worst, or West Africa at the worst. Even Black American, Caribbean. So it's not just about skin color. It's for me that culture is very, 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 very important. So it's great because for me, life is short. That this is the way I look at life, right? This is the way I look at my life. I have nothing against interracial marriages. I don't. It's not my cup of tea. Interracial marriage, it's not my cup of tea. Why? Because I just feel it's so much work to having to explain so much nuance. Because I see my friends that are married to non-black women, and I see it's like so many. "Oh, but honey, you see that's what it means, honey." And it's like, and this is like every single day, like, god damn, bro, like Jesus, you're running the whole team in a company and you gotta explain every single but fuck that, bro. I'm not. I'm not. I mean, I have had opportunities to have something, and I'm like, and I'm honest, and I say to them, listen, this is just purely smexual, right? We're just banging each other. This is nothing. This is not going anywhere, and they accept it, because I'm honest. Nobody can say, oh, I tricked them or I lied to them, because I know who I am and I know what I want, and I stick on it. Like, yo, this is just purely. I find you attractive. You find me attractive sexually. I find you attractive sexually. That's it. Nothing romantic is coming out of this. You in or you out. I'm out. I'm in. Great. Chicken out. End of story. Because I'm looking at things from a long-term basis. In fact, what I'm even considering is once I get, because I'm transitioning, what I'm transitioning my career to actually make me to be able to work remote. And when I can work remote, I am actually planning. I know. I think I've hinted to I am planning to start phasing a little bit to go to Nigeria and spend a couple of months in Nigeria and spend a couple of months here, because that's how important this thing is to me. You know what I mean? To be able to be around those women, if I want to take that serious, because I think I have a beautiful culture, and I want to keep it that way. I want to, if I'm gonna have something serious, I'd like to have something serious with. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong when even white men say they want to only date white women. I don't have any I don't think it's racist. I don't think it's racist when men say they only want to date or marry women from their culture. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think it's natural. But I also think if you're going to get into an interracial marriage, again, I'm not talking about interracial fucking. There's a difference. I've engaged in that here and there. Interracial marriage, just understand, especially for the white folks, right? Understand that there's a lot you will have to learn. And for the man, just understand that there's a lot you have to teach. And just make sure you're ready for it, because I think that's why a lot of these interracial marriages don't typically last, especially with the black man. I don't know. I don't have the data in front of me, but I do know that interracial marriages, black men and other groups of women, typically doesn't last well. I don't know. Maybe the ladies have the data then. Because I feel like part of the reason is just the amount of work, bruh. Like all the men that I know that were married to I don't want to again. I don't. Maybe I'm going to stop it so I don't scare Anya. Because
I'm already scared. I'm already scared, man.
Then drop, man. Don't put that on us. I mean, you know what you're saying. You know what Hey, shit! You came to Kingsley's platform. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Anya, we wish you all the best. We wish you all the best.
I don't know now, because like I had a message of his sister now. Like,
okay, maybe we drop the live. Maybe Anya, drop the live and close the live, please. Like, I don't want to skip.
No, but just tell me what that means, yeah? Because I'm going there, Nigeria, in a few weeks, and now they sent a message of my measurement and my man's measurements, because they sewing us an attire. I'm like, what the hell?
You're gonna look good. You're gonna look good.
I ain't gonna look good. I'm gonna look like shit.
No, you're gonna look good.
Come on.
Nigerian attire is very beautiful, to be honest with you. It's very beautiful. Very.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to I didn't mean to scare anybody up.
No, Nigerian attire is very beautiful. You're going to love it.
They have me feel worse now.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. The attire is very beautiful. You're going to like it. It feels very snug, on the body. It really accentuates that femininity body, feminine body that you have. So I think you're gonna look great. It can never go wrong with the Nigerian attire. As far as I've seen, all the women have looked good.
I'm
in the attire.
old. All right.
You're not saying you're old. I'm just saying that, like, as far as I've seen, it has never failed any woman. Every woman who's worn that attire looks beautiful. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't be scared.
Don't do that, Gracie. Not every woman that wears
no,
that
what I'm saying, wow.
Come
okay,
on,
okay.
stop posturing. Stop posturing.
No,
you gotta
I'm
look.
Just saying.
You have to be a beautiful woman already to look good in Nigerian attire. Nigerian attire is exquisite. He's Igbo,
am
right?
I ugly?
He's Igbo,
am I
right?
ugly then?
Is he Igbo?
He's Igbo, yeah. Am I ugly?
I don't know. I'm not looking at you.
Well, then look at my thingy.
You shouldn't care if I think you're ugly or not. It's your husband's opinion that should matter. Clearly, he doesn't think you're ugly. He's getting married. No? Why should you give a shit what I think?
I don't give a shit what you think.
But Annie,
I know.
but you come off as a very nice lady. To be honest, I actually like talking to you. We sincerely wish you success. Like really, when I mean we, of course, Becca, Lady, Gracie, and others on the comment section and people watching. Honestly, I'll be honest. When you came, I was thinking, oh, this was gonna be like I had my guard up. To be honest,
What did you think? What did you say?
I had my guard up.
Come on, bro.
But I must say, you're nice to talk to, genuinely. And I mean that. I don't say such things, but you seem nice. You seem like you vet your men, and that's great. Because it's, to be honest, when you came up, I was thinking it's gonna be, oh shit, another woman talking about how a Nigerian man scammed her and shit, and I was gonna be okay. But it sounds
I
like
ain't
maybe the ladies
stupid.
can speak. Yeah, right, exactly. You sound like you really use your coconut here, to really.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's good.
No, it was so nice talking to all of you guys. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, and follow the ladies.
You're
Follow
welcome.
Becca and Gracie. Maybe you guys could text, because there are people that have made themselves from my platform and they've been top for a year plus now. You never know.
Definitely.
Host is definitely really nice and doing this very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. It sounds like you've got yourself a good one. Stop
Yeah.
listening to.
Don't need to be scared.
Yeah,
When you get married, come back and tell us, please.
Yeah, exactly. You need to
I'm
you
probably
need to
getting
come with live with host. Talk
Yeah.
with host and come live with host.
Yeah.
And I can promise you one thing. When you
Yeah.
come back from Nigeria, you are going to be more in love with Nigerians. That's why I said you are lucky. You got what I, as a Nigerian, couldn't get, a Nigerian man. So when you come back, you're going to tell us how amazing those people are. If you find you a good Nigerian man, you will enjoy your life. Definitely. So take care of our brother, because a
Yeah.
Nigerian will not stay where he's not happy. That's the one secret I'll leave you with.
You know that we went to a wedding a couple of months ago, and one of the girls, that's Nigerian girls, but they are Yoruba, not Igbo, but they've known each other. And she looked at him, and she looked at me. She goes, "Oh my God, you really looking after him? He put loads of weight on." Oh, it's the food language, Polish food language.
Yeah. Okay, Anya, we are rooting for you. We're gonna circle back to the original point, okay, dear. So I have to drop you, but please don't be a stranger,
Yeah, yes.
okay? Okay.
No, yeah, good.
We
All
genuinely
right.
wish you well.
Bye bye.
Be well.
Bye.
Bye.
Go back.
Man,
Yeah.
solely, and now I'm together with an African man, and he somehow had the need to address me, as he said there in the comments.
He's busy.
That he basically said that African women are not loyal, and that's why he said that none of these white men wanted to marry you, and that's why you're rotating back. Basically he was kind of just saying that, like, it's giving he doesn't like black women who date interracial. Basically, let's just say so. He doesn't like black women who date interracial. I, as an African woman, believe in expanding and choosing the best men for the job. So race shouldn't necessarily even matter. It's just choosing about the best men for the job to be your husband.
I think race matters.
Race matters, absolutely, for people who think it matters. I'm just a person who sees this almost like as a business. You would choose the best person for the job, right?
Thank
the
you.
best person to love you correctly, to be the father of your children, to be your husband. So basically, for me, it's like almost like a job interview. Best man for the job. And I believe one of the reasons why I always tell a lot of African women to expand their options and just not be like date solely African men is because I have that mindset. And I feel like a lot of women like black women have trouble, especially women who are raised in non-African country, right? And they have issues with finding a partner. And I told them, why don't you just expand your options. Maybe you find something if you expand your options, right? And it's like they're having such a big difficulty with finding a husband if that's what their goal is, of course, or finding a partner in general. But you're not expanding your option. You
No,
have to.
I think, lady, I see where you're coming from, because again, keep in mind, I think there's a gender dynamic. I know, I think I know we spoke about this yesterday, that it's easier for men to talk than for women or something like that. So for me as a man, the thing, I have some privileges. I am a man. I can, I don't know. I don't want to say I can have my pick of the litter. In a way, that's maybe not the right phrase, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, at least, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I have options in a way, in the sense of, like I said, West Africa, I have Nigeria. Like, I can, like, if I really, really, really wanted to, get locked up in a month or find some option, I could. You know what I mean? So, but for women, because men do the choosing in a way, especially when it comes to something serious, the man has to agree. So I can understand where some women are saying, look, the men are not cooperating. Like, I think, that was a situation, or maybe even a lady, I don't remember, but maybe the men you wanted were not cooperating. And of course, you have to expand your options. If you want to get married, or if you want something serious, you have to actually, open up your scope and then find the best man for the job. So I do understand where you're coming from, Grace. I think that's just a long way of saying I get where you are coming from as an African lady, finding the best man for the job. Yeah, makes sense, right?
Matova, what do you mean in Sweden is a bit different? Do you live in Sweden for you to say that?
Ignore, lady. If it's not on the panel, ignore him. I sent him an invite to decline and says he's busy. He's not busy to respond to you. Ignore him. If he cannot come online and speak, forget it. I've seen Matovi. He's always been quite. He's actually been very decent. I don't know. Maybe you guys got your beef together. But Matovo has always been nice in my comment section. So maybe clearly it's something with you directly, because anytime he's been here, he's always been very, very cool, very, very supportive.
That's what I'm saying. He's triggered. He's triggered as to I dated interracial, that I dated non-black men before. That's what has triggered him. Anyways, host, you said something before Anya came, and that I wanted to address. You said that you're not a person who follows basically society standards, etc., and especially about marriage, and you've never really felt like that paternal instinct, and so. But I understand. I've met a lot of men. Like I'm a person who's very curious, and I like understanding why people think certain ways. How should I put this to words? I believe perhaps that people in general who don't feel like they need to get married. Not that they don't ever want to get married, or just like don't feel like they need to get married. Perhaps maybe you guys just have not found a person that wakes up that instinct in you. I don't know.
I knew you were gonna say that. Oh,
I don't know. I
always say that.
You gotta say it.
I knew
it.
Okay.
So like maybe you just have not met that person. To be honest with you,
Can I to her?
Go ahead, because I think I know I said that to me as well. I don't know. Women have said that to me a lot.
No,
but anyway,
I said it to you, but
go on.
I said it to you, but I took it back. And the reason why I say that, I think there's something about us women. It was as I grew older that I realized that even I was doing that. We have this savior complex where we always think, oh yeah, you haven't met the woman that will make you. But there was something my grandmother used to say to me, and she said to me, if you have a child and it's a boy, you will understand that even a 4-year-old boy will teach you that you can never make a man do what he hasn't. If he doesn't think it's his idea, you're wasting your time, really. So I don't think that looking at it from the perspective of he hasn't met the right person, because that's why he's laughing at you, because it's like, if it's something, he has to come to the place where that's what he wants. Yeah. Because if that's not what he wants, he will keep meeting women that will think, yeah, it's just casual. Then very soon they will think, yeah, if I do this for him, if I do that, just overperforming. But the thing is that men are not like us. And like Kingsley said, because they don't have the They don't have the disadvantage of time, which we do as a woman. If you want to get married, you have that biological clock. And then you are not the one choosing. You are being chosen. You place yourself to be chosen, but you are not the one choosing, because men, I think I said it to Kingsley.
Thank you.
I think I said it to Kingsley yesterday or today, that the reason why I personally encourage more African women to date outside of their race is that if you're an African woman and you're of a specific social class, socioeconomic class, you're educated, you have a good job, and you are living outside of the African continent, your dating choices are almost non-existent if you're looking for black men. Because if you find, like me, I spent years of my life obsessed with Nigeria. There's nothing I didn't do. Move to this place, I go to this part of London I went. I was just moving around looking for them. But then I had to come to the point where I had to tell myself the truth. People love Nigerian men. People love Congolese men. And the Congolese men or the Nigerian men that I, as Rebecca, living the life that I'm living, would be interested in, I'm competing with so many other Nigerian women, Jamaican women, British women, Polish women. So at a point, I had to come to the place where I, like you, started thinking, I want the right man for the job. I want who's going to love me right, who's going to love me in a way that heals my childhood trauma, who I want to be the father of my children. And eventually, when I stripped down all of those requirements, I realized that it didn't have race. Does race make it difficult? Yes, it does. Doesn't make it easier, but I prefer to be with a man that helps me grow, that allows me the space to heal and to be a better version of myself than to be living in a constant state of crisis, trying to make a racial requirement fit. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that's just what I was saying. You can't make a man do shit. And I think I think I said it to you, Kingsley, this morning, that to me, I know people are going to call me pick me, but I don't give a shit. The reason why this aggressive social media feminism is growing is because they think they have this power over another human being. Let's not even talk about the fact that he's a man. You don't have power over what people choose, how people choose. And if they don't choose you, there's nothing wrong with them. You're just not what they want. You know, so I think one of the things that we as women, I had to do this, was to get rid of my own self-perception of myself as a princess. I am not special. And to be very honest with you, that was the same time that I found Kevin Samuels. There were times I'm doing my hair for 7 hours, I'm cleaning my house, all I'm listening to is that guy. There were times he said things that I was really upset about, but I'll be like, why did he say that? But I listened to him. Sometimes he offended me, but I realized that he was telling us the truth that we very recently become conditioned to be against. If someone tells you the truth, they are the enemy. They are misogynist. They are anti-women. They are this, they are that. No, the truth is just the truth. And those of us who break out of the threshold and meet healthy men and be in healthy relationships will be people that will be willing to look at ourselves in the mirror. Number one, you can't make a man do shit. You can't. You cannot change his mind about marriage. You cannot convince him. You cannot stay with him and love him the right way to love you. That's not your job. Thank you very much.
I agree. I really, really deeply agree to what Becca said. You cannot. I have example. I'll give you guys an example that I saw yesterday. My sister's ex-boyfriend, my big sister's ex-boyfriend. My sister is married with 2 children, right? When he found out that she was pregnant with her first child, he literally wrote to my sister. They had broken up years ago. He was like, that child was supposed to be ours, etc., 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 like really long messages. And he had the girlfriend meanwhile. That was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, right? Fast forward, he lives in the same area as I am. And sometimes we bump into each other. And he's Congolese. So I was talking to him yesterday and I was like, you've been together with your lady for like 4 years? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I mean, like, how do you feel perhaps about marriage? I mean, it seems like it's going well, you know? And he's like, listen, I'm not a marriage guy. He's basically like host. He has the same mindset as host, right? Very extremist, like not extremist, like max, you know, I forgot what the word that you said before. And I do enjoy genuinely having conversations with him, because our conversations go like we go to the gym together sometimes also, like it just goes hours. We have really good conversations. But as he said yesterday, he has made it clear to her that he doesn't really, marriage is not something he has in his mindset. Like he doesn't follow societal standards about you have to get married, you have to get children, etc., etc. He likes the way it's going, you know, and if it's going well, then it's going well. He doesn't feel like the pressure to get married or anything like that,
Can I?
you know. And so I was like, okay, but have you have you told her? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, and she's okay with it? And he's like, yes. Which to me as a woman was a little bit shocking, because I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know all women and how all women think, but I feel like slightly sorry for her, because like they're older than me. They're in like their early to mid 30s. And he told me yesterday that there was an instance where they went to a wedding last year, and then she told him like, maybe, do you want to get married perhaps sometime? And which gives me this kind of like, does she think that the longer she stays and treats him well?
And if you're a placeholder in a man's life and you agree to play that role because you think you're special, you can change his mind. It's on you. You waste your years with a man that wakes up and marries a girl he met in 3 months because he's ready. It's not necessarily about her. Is at the point in his life where she meets him, he likes her, and there's something in her that thinks, okay, this one is a wife. They shouldn't date. Men know what they're doing.
Listen, even like, I think that, yeah, of course, like I agree with what you say. He has to want to get married, and then he has to know that this is the one he wants to get married, right? You can have that desire, but you have to choose the right person to fulfill your desire. So that's what I'm saying. Like when he knows, he knows. Like when a man knows, he knows, and that can go very quickly. And that's why
Can I say something? Can I say something controversial?
Sure.
There was something my grandmother said to me when I was a child that I used to disagree because of this strong-headed feminist. She used to say that for a marriage to work, a man has to love a woman more. And she used to say to me, marriages were actually contract of exchange of something. And in this day and age, she used to call it stupid young women think love is such a thing. It's like, yeah, a man has to love you more, because whether or not you instantly feel that spark, eventually, if he treats you right, you are going to love him anyways. So if you are the one that is crazy about the relationship, the man usually knows, and it doesn't necessarily keep him if you're not what he wants. It's good for him if you are what he wants. If you're not what he wants, you're wasting your time. Then one day, I mean, I have had many men do it to me. Like I had an ex I dated for 3 years. The way he even got married, like I can never forget it. I found it on his WhatsApp and I saw the picture. I was still lying to myself. I was like, no, he went to this conference. He went to something in India because at the time he worked for the UN and he traveled a lot. And I was showing my cousin the picture. I was like, maybe they are a guest in somebody else's wedding. No, he was married. And I'm telling you about somebody who flew to Lagos 3 weeks before to come and see me. I wasn't what he wanted, but he wasted my time. He probably liked me, he liked my company. It didn't matter, but it wasn't me. Do you understand? Because eventually, like after I saw that, I asked him and I blocked him. He sent me this long email. He just met the girl, but he married her. I mean, the marriage didn't last. It's not really my problem. But the point is, if you're playing that role in a man's life, you as a woman, if you don't know, then you're stupid.
Yes, this kind of gives off, because I agree with you, like being desperate is definitely going to make a man, use you as a placeholder. He's going to have you stay there for convenience sake, right? And I do agree with what you said, grandmother or mother, about, the man has to love you more than the man has to love the woman more than the woman loves him. I completely agree with that. And that's something that I also realized these last few years also. The man does have to love you. My sister told me this too, and she's married. She's like, he has to have some side of slightly fear of losing you, all right? I'm not saying you should act nonchalant.
Can you guys
I'm not
hear me?
saying, yes, we can.
Okay.
man, the man has to love the woman more.
Listen, I was talking to my boyfriend actually. I'll give you guys an example. I was talking to my boyfriend last week, and it was his birthday early in November, and we have a long distance relationship. So he came over to my city, and I invited his friends to surprise him, because they all live in different cities, and I work in a hotel. So I invited his friends over, and he was really, really happy. We spent a day together with him and his friends. And in the end of the day, he was like, "Oh, like you're the best girlfriend ever, blah, blah, blah." And then I said, "Oh, thank you, and he's like, "Yeah." And I'm just like, just so this is not a, what's it called? I don't know what I said. And he was like, "Wow, you're not gonna, I thought I'm loved." I'm like, "You are loved." I gotta be a little bit narcissistic with you to just give you that slight adrenaline. So basically what I'm trying to say is that you have to, of course you're supposed to love your man and show him love, but you cannot love him more than he loves you, because I feel like he has to constantly seek your, should I say, keep him on his
Well,
tiptoes.
I got a question.
Yes.
So when you say the man has to like a woman more, give me real life examples. Because to me, because I've heard women say this, because I feel like a lot of women that say that, right? They say it in a like I think it's coded in this supremacy thinking. Oh, because he's gotta like you more, and it's like you first off you gotta be attractive enough for that. Because I feel like a lot of women. Okay, how do I say this? You guys know that I don't mean any harm.
A lot of women are delusional. You want to say
Yes,
that? Just say that.
yes, a lot of women
Delusional.
are very delusional, and I feel like women also forget that there are different calibers of men. Look, I am not saying I'm the best of the best, though. You understand? I'm not saying that. For me, Oduduobong, that's my name, by the way, my solid name. Ain't no way in hell I'm chasing after a woman. Like, if I like you, right? If I like you, I'll make my intention known. But if I feel like into this like nonchalant stuff, I'm out.
No, 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 no.
I feel
I'm
like
not saying you're
a lot
supposed.
of women, they are used to guys that are desperate for them. A man that knows in his heart of hearts that yes, he might not be Michael B. Jordan, but he knows he does okay for himself across all layers. He doesn't
Mhm.
have to chase after nobody, unless I'm misunderstanding you. Unless that.
Yes, you are.
Okay, explain.
Okay. So listen, I'm a lover girl. I love my man. Like my man 24/7, right? I am a, strong believer of being supportive to your man, showing him love, knowing his love language, everything all like that. That's not what I'm saying, because it's been so many cases where why it's because it's a theory. I'm not saying you have to, but I do believe a lot in that theory, because I've seen so many examples where women have loved the man, like give all to their man, like life, career, children, everything for that man, like really, really loved him. And the man barely even shows the same amount of love. No, the man has barely showed the same amount of love compared to the woman. And then the man still ends up leaving after the woman have done all that for him. Hence the reason of the theory of the man should love the woman more to make it actually work. I'm not saying that the woman should be nonchalant or treat him badly or be, yelling, slapping, all that. I don't believe in that. But I do believe in just easing him, having firm boundaries and just teasing him slightly. For example, my man is like, "Oh, I want to shave off my hair." He wants to get a buzz cut, right? And I don't like buzz cuts. And whenever he says that, like, "I want to get a buzz cut," and I say, "Just know that you'll be a single man when you get that buzz cut." And we always laugh, and we and we always laugh about it. That's kind of like what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm just saying that, have firm boundaries. Don't be flippy floppy, like super flexible about certain things if you have firm beliefs about certain things. Just
Before
basically just saying.
Eno, I hear you, Lady Grace, and I think ladies like you and Eno, because personally I consider both of you to be very beautiful women, right?
So I think, and if I see it, I'm sure other men see it as well. So you can get away with it. Both of you can get away with it. But if some busted woman talk that thing you're saying, I'm gonna say, come on, go to the back of the bus. So you two can get away with it. Just understand that too, huh? It's on a spectrum.
I think that Kingsley, you're completely getting it wrong. A man loving a woman more is not about a woman being nonchalant, like not to repeat all the point that she's made. It's not about that. It's about you think about the times when you were interested in a girl, that you were messaging her. It doesn't matter her own response, whether or not she answered you. She missed an opportunity with you. Maybe she had other things going on in life. She was dating somebody else. She wasn't honest with you. But think about the effort that you made for the girl that you liked versus the girl that likes you. That's what I'm trying to say. And what my grandmother told me, which I will swear by, I will live by forever, is that because as women, we don't have the power to make, in a healthy relationship, a woman does not have the power to make you do what you don't want to do. So you already have to want to do it in the first place. That's number one. Number two, relationships are hard. That's a fact. Women are naturally nurturing. They will nurture anything. If they are passing on the street, there's a rat, they will nurture the rat. That's how it's human nature for a woman to be that the way that they are. But it's also human nature for a man to learn to nurture. So when a woman carries a child, the man doesn't immediately connect with it until the child is born. It's the same thing. There's a certain level of wanting something that a man has to have. Like, oh, I like that woman. She's amazing. She's this. Like picturing her in your life is going to affect how you treat her, how you pursue her, whether or not if she doesn't answer you, she's a bad example. It doesn't mean that it's your chasing her that makes her not answer you. Most of the time, as a woman, I speak as a woman, if a man is chasing me and I'm not interested, it's usually because there's somebody else I'm interested. Because sometimes us women, we're stupid. We don't go for the men that want us or are right for us. We chase ours because we have this. There's a certain level of unhealthy ego that as women we have. We think we're not narcissistic. All of us, all human beings have narcissism, by the way, to a healthy degree. But women have a savior complex. Women have I'm special if I do this for him, if I do that. And men know that. So for me, when I started practicing that in my real life, it just helped me, not to chase a man. And I'm sorry to bring up Onyeka, but Onyeka's story is a typical. That man did not want her. Eventually, he started bending to it because he saw her. This one is a mumu. This one will give me money. That's why he started. I mean, you meet a man, he didn't ask for your number. You asked for his Instagram. He knew you liked him. He knew it's like, yeah, this one is easy to scam. Let me try and see how far I can get away with it. And even the way their relationship ended, he had to beg her, okay, let me just go. I've caused too much trouble in your life. But a man that liked a woman will go out because it's in your male nature to see something, like it, and try to reach out to it. The woman's role, which I swear by, is to receive that. So if a woman doesn't receive your effort, it doesn't make anything wrong with your effort. It makes something wrong with her or where she is in her life, or she's chasing something else that is not even interested in her. Onyeka is a Nigerian girl in Dallas, Texas, that got scammed by that. Yeah. A white Tyrian. That's a man. He deceived her. He didn't deceive her, to be honest. He didn't want her. But she was an easy target because she was chasing
I know the Danish deception. I'm Swedish, so I'm neighbors to the, Danish people. Yeah. I'm actually moving to Gothenburg, so I'll be like 2 hours away with a boat today to Denmark. Anyway, no, I've never, I haven't seen the documentary, but of course I've come across a lot of TikToks explaining, what has happened and everything. But as I'm looking into it, and it's like, it's wild.
Before I say my point, I want to ask them a question. When you say a guy should like the girl more, like, how do you, one, what does that look like? That's one. And two, what does that look like with time? The reason I say that is because initially I can understand your perspective. However, when you now add time into that and marriage or commit to a relationship, that point is void, in my opinion, because as time goes on, the like you guys have for each other should level out. Now, I believe that a lot of women, as you said, are egotistical. So the idea that Lady Grace, I think her name is, talks about fear, that fear that you speak of is purely based on your own ego. Because if a guy gave you that fear, it'd be toxic, right?
Yes. I think what you said, what does that look like in the long term? What that looks like in the long term is if it's a healthy relationship, the woman that you meet, that you are courting, you're getting to, what that looks like for you in the beginning is your effort. Because the same effort, if you went to kindergarten, 5, 7-year-old boys, and speak to them about the girls that they like and observe, like children teach us a lot about human psychology. There's a show called The Secret Life of 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-olds. I advise you to watch that on YouTube. You will see how even children in kindergarten dates, you see how the dynamics are so different for boys and for girls. And you see how there was one of the boys, his mother made him lunch. He was 5 years old. His mother made him lunch, put it in his box, and put a note, "I love you, baby." This boy came back home and was querying his mother. He didn't eat his lunch, was querying his mother because his girlfriend was upset. A 5-year-old's girlfriend was upset, so he didn't eat because he didn't want to upset her. And she was upset because his own mother told him, "I love you." And for you, what that teaches us in this dynamic is men and women are different, number one. Number two, men go after what they want. Now, if you get that into a full-time relationship, for example, like a marriage, it balances out. And to be very honest with you, relationships are not 50-50. Sometimes you give 80, your wife gives 20. Most of the time in a healthy relationship, because you've put so much in advance, if it ends in marriage, the woman takes over. That's just, I'm telling you from my own personal experience, from what I know to be a fact, that as a man, you sow equity in advance to gain trust. And once you gain the trust, if she loves you, she overtakes you, and your effort doesn't really matter anymore. But what the point of what my grandmother was saying to me, which I believe for the rest of my life, I'll never not believe it, is that a man will only keep something going if that's what he wants. And what he wants shows in efforts in the beginning. I'll leave that to lady.
I understand the beginning part. Like, I get it. I totally agree with you. My thing is, if you're 5, 10, 15 years down into marriage, the love that you have for each other should be roughly the same. No one should love each other. No one should love the other person more than the other. It's just, it should be the same, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So,
The love shouldn't change. It grows. In fact, it can grow even more because you're living together. You're learning. Because when you're married, now you're committed. You are super serious now, right? When you're married, because you know the end goal of marriage is not to get a divorce, right? I mean, of course, I am for divorce, but like you obviously want to avoid divorce, so you're more willing to put in more effort, right, to making it work. You're having to have long discussions, and like I said, like you said, you're growing, you're getting older, and us as humans, we change all the time. With time, with years that pass by, we change. So you are growing old together. That's why people say grow old together, right? You want to do that, and so. But anyways, Ben, my opinion as to what you said, what you asked, is, I don't know how I should give it to a bad example. When a man, let's say like this, you see a woman and she's your ideal type. Yeah, you get to know her, everything. And yeah, and she likes you back and you are dating, but she is your dream woman, right? Your end goal is to lock to lock that down, right? Get children, married, whatever your goal is with her, and she's your dream woman, right? Do you not have that slight fear of losing her?
that fear is toxic.
I'm not saying,
I think
I'm not talking about she has a bad behavior or something like that.
No,
That's not what I'm saying. That's
not.
not what I'm saying. It's because a woman is supposed to be loving to her partner and treat her partner well and, with respect and so. But what I'm saying is that when you love someone so much, you do have a slight, small fear in the back of your head about losing her.
No, when you love someone, you should be comfortable in that relationship to know that she'll always be by your side and I'll always by her side. The one that you're talking about is toxic, in my opinion.
I think I see where Ben is coming from, and I agree with Ben because again, this is what actually made me push a little bit back on what you guys said, because I feel like a lot of women, it's a bit like fantasy in a way, like there's like this, like, and I blame rom-coms where the man is always the one chasing after the woman no matter what she does. And yeah, I know it's exaggerated. It is exaggerated. So Ben, please hop in if I'm going overboard. But what I say, and the reason I agree with Ben is because, and I blame the influence of Netflix and Hollywood, where the woman, she could be basic, she could put zero effort, but the man is just, he could be a multi-billionaire with a lot of assets, but he's just focused on her. I know it's exaggerated, but I feel like a lot of women have bought into that perception, and that's why they think that the woman has to not like the man as much as the man likes her, and the man, like, I feel like I think it's toxic too. If a man has any type of anxiety towards losing you or you're going to leave him for something, I think that's not the kind of woman you want to be with, if I'm being honest. Then she's there for something. I don't know, Ben. Is that aligned to how you're seeing things, or it's completely out of scope?
I just think that if the only way I can articulate the point so they understand what I'm saying is, imagine you're married to your husband. You shouldn't have a fear, whether it's small or big, that he's going to leave you. You shouldn't have that. You should be comfortable enough and say, regardless of what I'm going through, my husband will always be on my side. That same feeling he should also have. You guys should be locked in together. No one should be worried or cautious or whatever that the partner's going to leave. That's why I say it's toxic.
Well,
because that same thing you're speaking of, you wouldn't like if that same thing was applied to you. You wouldn't like that.
well, I listen. I agree. But the thing is that women and men, when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationship, we have all different experiences, and so hence the reason why this theory has appeared. Because this is only theory. I'm not saying that it's 100%. This is a theory that I do agree on, not necessarily 100%, but I have seen these instances of, as you say, the Ben, where you're together with your partner and you are 100%, comfortable. Let's say the woman is 100% comfortable in the relationship, and she gives her all to her husband, or partner, etc., etc. But the thing is that what has happened in many instances is that the man sees that the woman is comfortable in the relationship, and they don't, and they end up cheating because they think that because she's comfortable, she is gonna stay. Hence the reason why this theory has appeared. You understand what I mean? Because there's been many instances where women have given their all and they're comfortable and everything. They were like, "Oh, my man would never cheat," right? And then he ends up cheating. There's been so many instances, and hence the reason, because this theory is created out of the fear that the man will cheat if we get comfortable. Because we do want what you're saying, Ben. We want to be comfortable. We want to, be locked in for forever. As you said, want to have that slight fear, of my man might be, lose me. But it's a thing. It has happened so many times.
Why do you speak on what you're speaking on if that's not what you would like? It makes sense. So if you're saying you would want what I'm saying, why is that your talking point? Well, like, why carrying the, if you want to call it quote unquote trauma or bad experience of other people and applying that as your talking point when that's not actually really what you want? Does it make sense?
I agree with you, Ben, that there should be no fear in love. I completely agree. Love should be safe. But we're talking about the dynamics of two people, a coming together of two people that are biologically different. If you look at it, when you as a man, you've chased a woman, when you eventually dated her, you didn't sustain the momentum because you were doing that with an end goal in mind to get to her. That you have to sow equity in advance, you gain her. Now, it doesn't mean if you have to keep doing that in the relationship, that's the wrong relationship. But the idea is that that's how you're supposed to get a woman, because a woman is going to show you that love in a different way. That's number one. Number two, you said something about in a marriage, people should love each other equally. That's impossible in any kind of relationship, marriage, dating, whatever. The roles, sometimes both parties give more, sometimes they give less, but usually not at the right time, not together. There will be times the man is going through something, he can do less, the woman takes over. There will be times the woman is not, emotionally able. Like, no relationship is 50-50, doesn't exist. It's a lie. People say that in emotional investment, financial, in everything, a relationship between a man and a woman, sometimes she gives more, sometimes she gives less. But my point, something that you and Kingsley are struggling to understand in what me and Lady are trying to say, that aspect of you have to love more, it's based on the natural biological difference between a man and a woman. Because if you sit down and think about it, when a woman has chased you, she has repulsed you, because we are impulsive. So what I'm saying is, if you meet a woman, and Kingsley said not all women have the privileges to do this, I agree. But if you really think about it, when women have chased you down your life, maybe you are just, having a schmexual relationship, and she falls in love, she starts, sometimes you see her text annoying you. Be honest with yourself.
True.
So I'm not saying the toxic kind of love. I'm just saying that as a man, as a 5-year-old boy who wants to please his girlfriend because he wants her to feel secure in the title he's trying to place her in his life. So his job is to impress her. And that's what I was telling you. Forget all this rubbish people talk about on the internet. Watch how children relate with each other, boys and girls, as opposite sex in kindergarten. They teach you a lot about relationships. Some boys will go home and they will steal their mother's rings to come and give to a 7-year-old girl to propose to. Like, that's just, is nature, is how nature designed male and female to be. Now, a healthy woman for you, once you've done all of that impression and now you have gotten her, most of the time she takes over. Most of the time she starts to give more than you did, or the days you cannot give more, you didn't really matter. Otherwise, a woman cannot keep you. And basically what I'm trying to say is also that for us women, it's also a way of us checking our ego, that we cannot make you do shit. And to me, maturity as a woman is coming to that place where I see for myself, there's nothing I can make Stefan do. Stefan will either do it or not. I can tell you, I want you to do this. I'd like for you to do this, but I cannot force him to do it.
What do you think overall, Ben, of what the ladies have said? Do you see where they're coming from? Do you not? Because I want to actually pull all three of us to all four of us to another direction, but I want to give you a chance to comment on that.
Yeah, no, like I understand what they're saying. I really do. The idea that men should call women initially, I don't like the word chase, to be honest, but I get what they're saying. I get it. My thing is, over the lifespan of a marriage, yes, at some point she will give 80, you'll give 20, whatever, but ultimately you're both loving on each other, and that's the healthy dynamic. We're not judging percentages. Everyone's coming as 100, and you're giving it all in your marriage. That's what I'm saying.
Otherwise, to clarify what Miss Becca said, is that what men give in the relationship, even if it's you're just dating, whatever men give, you get it double. That is our job as women, right? If you court the lady correctly, you get that back in different ways, right? That's how women usually show love. That's what the example people usually say. It's just to make it easier for you to understand. The more effort you put in the relationship, the more you get back from her also. Okay, right? Because we don't forget. Let's say like this. If you're in a relationship and the man doesn't really treat her well, and he doesn't really care much about her, etc., do you think the woman will still stay there? She wouldn't, obviously, because you're not loving her correctly.
She will stay. What are you talking about?
A lot of women will stay, cool, but eventually eventually she will leave. They might stay a long time. They might stay 20, 30 years, but she will leave eventually. Okay? So I'm just saying, some of us women, of course, have good, or people who have boundaries and understand things, but a lot of women don't, unfortunately, and it takes them years to get there, but they will get there eventually.
Okay.
Right.
So I again. Okay, land your plane, lady, because I want us to go somewhere else. Okay, go land your plane.
Yes. So what I was trying to say is just that that's why the quote "happy wife, happy home" is happy wife, happy life is there, because when you give to your woman, you get that double fold, and then you are happy. Everyone is happy in the household. Just to say that. That's all I had to say.
Okay, so
I landed.
Okay, thank you. So again, lady, you sound like a lady who has a very healthy self-esteem. So you are speaking from that lens. Most women are not like that, bro. As a man who sees things, especially because as a result of my platform, people reach out to me, people talk to me. I mean, case in point. I think I told you about this in on WhatsApp. There was this lady. Her name is, I'm not going to say her name, but she's a Black American woman content creator. One of her live stream was "Don't date fellas." To me, as an African man, that's like a no-brainer. Duh, don't date a fella. But it seems in the Black American culture, there are people challenging this woman. Why should she say they shouldn't date fellas? Now, as Africa, like, no, you shouldn't date a fella. God damn it! But she was getting so much pushback. Almost every woman that came on this lady's live stream dated a felon. She dated almost every woman that came on this woman's live stream. Most of them were black. Even you had the black British women that called in. They dated a guy that went to jail. And then the women always say something like this, we dated, then he went to jail. And then in the conversation, I was like, what do you mean then he went to jail? Because I feel like some women, they like to just skip over the whole context and just hop into, then he went to jail. I'm like, no, don't do that. Most guys don't just go to jail. You know what I mean? Because women do this, like, he just went to jail, like he just woke up one morning, did his regular life, and then just appeared in jail. I'm like, no. Before a man ends up in jail or prison, whichever one, there were patterns. Like, someone like me now, if you hear Kingsley is in jail, it's going to be a shock to me too. Because what the fuck? I'm a regular guy. But if you are dating a guy who goes to jail, there are usually behavior patterns that shows that he's probably has a future in jail. And these women dated this guy 5+ years. This guy was, according to them, this is they're talking about, horrible, treated them terribly. But they dated this guy for 5+ years, some of them 10 years. Even when the guy was in jail, they were still dating him, right? And not just that, they were not married to the guy, but they had kids by this jailbird who treated them horribly. And this is not, I know women always like to say another word, but what I see, a lot more women will stay with a guy that treats them like dog shit. I've noticed it. Almost every single woman I know in my circle, no matter how educated they are, no matter how kind they are, they have given more empathy. Now, this might not apply to both of you. I get it. Not all. It'll be dumb for me to say all women. But I think a larger number of women will absolutely stay with a guy, give him her best years, who treats her like dog shit. So I think this notion that a lot of women like to say, if you treat her well, she's going to stay or whatever. They say that, but the reality is not really the case. I think almost every man will tell you their asshole friends, their trashy friends cannot keep women off him. From high school to university to even to today. Every single man that I know that is a bit cuckoo in the head, a bit extreme, he may not have money, he may not have a future, but one thing he doesn't like is nyash. Different types of nyash. Lawyer nyash, teacher nyash, even other, So I don't know what it is. It sounds good what you're saying. I don't know if Ben can speak as a man too, what he's seen. But I don't know, bro.
No.
What I
I'll,
this is
I'll put
different.
it simple.
Very
I
different.
have a family member. I have a family member. I'm not gonna say, exactly. But I have a family member who's a female in her early 30s. I think she's about 33, 34 now. And she's a very beautiful girl. Like very, very beautiful woman. And she has no kids and everything. And everywhere we go together, she always attracts a guy. Either if we're on the restaurant, club, just sitting on the metro, there's always gonna be a man who looks at her, finds her beautiful, finds her attractive, and starts talking to her and stuff like that. This woman has been dating. She has been single since she was 25, where she broke up with her ex because he cheated on her, right? They were together for 5 years. He cheated on her with a woman, had a baby on her. After they broke up, he cheated. She found out they broke up. He managed to get this, other lady pregnant, and they're married. They got married like shortly after. Mind you, she was together with him for 5 years. It didn't take him 5 years to get married to this new woman. And they're still married, and it's been 5+ years. So anyways, my sister, not sister, this family member, this woman, like I said, very, very beautiful girl. The thing is, as you said, she has low self-esteem, even though she is very beautiful, which to me, in my head, doesn't compute, because it's like, how can you be so attractive that you have a lot of options, but somehow you haven't found the one with all these options? Mind you, I have been single for 6 years. I'm not going to say that I haven't had some few options here and there, but I don't go to nightclubs or any place and there's suddenly someone attracted. It's not always the case for me, but for her, it's always the case. She can go anywhere outside the country, the same country. There's always going to be someone that's going to find her attractive, that's going to find her beautiful. But yet she still can't find a husband. In this case, she has low self-esteem because she has stayed with 2 men for years that treated her like shit. And I've told her, you need to leave. You stayed like, 4, 5+ years with this guy. And he doesn't want any children. He already has 3 children that he lied to you about, by the way. Yeah. He said he didn't have any children. A year and a half later, she found out that he has children. He told her. And then a few years later, it's his birthday. They travel to, he invites her to travel to Malta. Mind you, right, they've been dating on and off. They're kind of, in a relationship-ish, right? He invites her to go to Malta with him for his birthday. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, is he paying for your tickets? She's like, no, I'm paying for my own tickets. I'm like, so he's inviting you to go to Malta with him, but he's not at least paying half of your tickets? I'm like, okay, sure, So they go halfway to Malta, right? Because they had to land somewhere else and change planes. He tells her that one of the reasons why they're going to Malta is not just for his birthday, is to see his third kid. To see his third kid that he has in Malta. Mind you, they're already like 3, 4 years in this relationship. When she found out about the third kid, lady still proceeded to go all the way to Malta with him.
She deserves
Stay there.
She deserves
I
everything.
would have freaked out.
Yeah, but okay. So she deserves everything that comes to her. But Ben, you wanted to speak, yeah?
I think there's a couple of things at play. I think on one hand, there are women that have been in situations that are for a long period of time and find it difficult to leave because they feel like they've invested so long. However, on the other hand, there's a lot of women that just don't know how to choose good men, and they don't know because they don't involve people who are figures in their life to help them choose good men, or they don't even just understand the men in general. I think in the last couple of years, maybe even 10, 15 years, there's a real push for guys to try and understand women, right? However, I don't see that same push for women to try and understand a guy in terms of how he thinks, his reasoning, his mental health, all that kind of stuff. I think that's what it is, to be honest. Because as you said, I don't believe, I believe most women have a lot of options in terms of guys that are moved to them or whatever. They just pick the wrong ones because they don't know how to choose. Literally, that's what it is.
Ben, I have to say something. You said that they don't involve people who can help them, with dating and give them advice, etc., on how to vet a man or choose a man. In my case, I've been there plenty of times, right, with friends, family, etc., where they have involved me, like with their dating lives and examples of what had happened, etc. The thing's just they don't listen. That's the thing, because a lot of women do get good advice, but these women don't listen to these people.
She's right.
They don't want to listen.
She's right.
Rant.
She's right.
Why?
Rant.
Yep.
But instead of taking accountability and doing something about the situation, they don't. It's like they like staying in that situation, and to me, it baffles me because, like, what do you mean the man is not treating you well, and you guys are not going, you don't have the same goal, and etc. etc. And I'm telling you, this is not a person you should be with, but you still decide to stay, and then come back the month and complain about the same situation.
I can tell you, Ben, I know you want to speak, but I'll tell you with my own observation. Because I've had the women reach out to me a lot. I have a lot of female friends that do the same thing. A lot of women, you see, I think there's a natural aspect to it as well. I don't know. That's why for me, when it comes to women, man, I feel like I don't overcomplicate it. I say this to men all the time. I say, listen, if the woman doesn't have raw physical attraction to you, move on with your life. Simple. Because a lot of the time, when you see a woman that is hooked on a bad choice, that guy either is usually very attractive or he fucks her good. That's it.
I agree.
That's what I've noticed. It's not that deep.
The good D.
Either he's attractive, but good D or it, and I say this to African men all the time. Sorry, you guys know me, because I don't have time for theoretical bullshit. Listen, good D on a woman, hey.
Yeah. Honestly, host, I've been a victim of this case.
Yeah. If you are a man and you can give a woman the best D she's ever received, unless that woman has some, and you're attractive and you know how to talk, but you're a bum, she will overlook a lot of things if you can give her good D. Why do you think, I think I've heard of the term hobosexual, HBO, not homo, HBO, hobosexual. What do women always say? He was attractive and he knew how to bang me. That's it. I'm a good D on a woman. Jesus Christ, but you will unlock languages she never even knew she could speak. She will realize she speaks Chinese. She's never been to China one time in her life. She speaks Turkish. She only knows kebab. She will hold on to you like this, bro. That is why bums, women, there's a stereotype that women always push around. Bum guys know how to work because that's all they've got. Lady, you want to say something? Ben is back. I don't know. Well, it's open panel anyway. It's open. Anybody that wants to go.
I'm just agreeing with what you're saying. Good D can definitely make a woman stay and tolerate all those BS from men. As a person who has been a quote unquote victim of the I'm not gonna lie. I've been the victim of this.
Victim of the anaconda.
It took me years, but I made it finally. I had to put in a lot of effort. Okay, I had to put in a lot of effort.
I know a woman, Lady Gracie.
We were not in a relationship. It was like we were not in a relationship, but we did date for a little short bit.
Yeah.
Even after we stopped dating, we were still, meeting each other. Let's just say so.
Yeah.
And it did take years. Like. I'm not saying yes.
I know of a girl. I'm gonna say this and I'll fall back. I know of a lady, right? This was last year. She was talking about this guy who was he was in the UK. Oh, he stressed me out. He do this to me, that. After like 30 minutes, I was like, hold on, Kingsley. You're thinking of this thing too much. You're giving her too much credit. You know what I did, lady? I asked her, okay, where's this guy from? She's like, he's Jamaican. I was like, yeah, I figured it out. He's Jamaican. So he knows how to talk. and there's a strong possibility he's got that anaconda that is twisting this girl's logic. And I was right. She agreed. She was busy giving us but I tried. I was like, no, you are with him because he's Jamaican. He knows how to razz you up and he knows how to bend you over and twist your brain. She was like, it's true. I was like, hey, there you go. So why are you giving us this whole spiel? Ben, go ahead, bro. Floor's yours.
No, I have nothing to say. They can go ahead.
Yeah.
No, like to be honest, host, to be honest, like this, you can still the things like this. A lot of mistake what women are doing when it comes to a man who gives you good D is that they're actually staying in a relationship with this man. You don't need to be in a relationship with this man. You can leave him, just have him as your side piece, right? Your, when you want to have some fun piece. Okay, so you
Yeah.
can still get that,
Yeah.
and then go on with life and date and find someone
Yeah.
who actually, is, meets your expectations with dating or relationship, whatever. So meanwhile you are dating, you can just have that as your fun piece.
Yeah.
That's the mistake that a lot of women are doing. They're still staying in the relationship instead of just having him on the side.
Yeah. But why do women catch feelings so quickly? And you wanted to say something quickly, or you just wanted to?
Yeah.
Intimacy. It's the intimacy part. That's what as I'm not even 30. I'm 27. But I'm a person who observes a lot. I study a lot of people's situations in case people always confide in me. So that's why I sound like I'm super old when I say certain things. But I've noticed that intimacy is what makes women get feelings for the guy, right? Just try to avoid as much as possible to be intimate with a man. I am not in Sweden. A lot of women have has sex, like one night stand. It's a normal thing here in Scandinavia. Like you can literally go to a club, bring a man home, and then that's like you guys do this sexual thing. It's so normalized. I don't believe in that though. I don't understand how a lot of women can just take the emotion out of the sexual encounter and be able to do so. But I think another thing is also the hormones in our heads. That's what makes us, quote unquote, addicted to the guy. Like, and then that hormones confuses us as feelings. I don't know how to really explain it, but I'll give it to Becca.
I think women are a man's ego is visible. A woman's ego is not. A woman's ego is usually in the things that she's trying to do manipulatively. There are people you can have. It's not because we have sex or our hormones. No, it's because we have a savior complex, and we always feel like just because we want something, we should get it. To me, that's where it comes from, because I think most of the relation about me when a woman is complaining to me, oh, he did this to me, he did this, and I did all of these things for him, and he still treated me this. Like, I had a mother like that, and when I was a child, I couldn't understand why she stayed with her husband, because I was like, he's a horrible man, but a horrible person. And because you are very egoistic and you feel like you are special, you want something which you knew from beginning was bad, but you are hell-bent on proving a point to yourself that this choice you made was right. So it's like you take the horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink water. It goes back again to my own personal point of a man, if he doesn't want you, he doesn't want you. He can have smacks with you. He can waste 10 years of your life, 20 years of your life. But if you are not what he wants, there's a different way in which he treats you. So the catch feelings he will not. And to me, I don't necessarily see it as catching feelings, because it was in my early 30s that I learned that the people that I thought I had this very intense chemistry with, no matter how badly they treated me, it wasn't about them. It was my ego that was trying to force the horse. I'm trying to make someone that clearly doesn't like me. I'm not the one. Maybe he likes hanging around me. He likes my spirit. I'm a fun person, but I am not what he envisions. And I feel like that has a huge role. So when a woman I catch feelings, is a lie. A woman is not catching feelings because of emotions or because, the physical aspect of it comes into play. she's trying. I feel like women go out as women, we find difficult tasks, assign it to ourselves, and then plan how we are going to achieve that. So the man must fit. If he doesn't fit, we must force him. To me, if you're a woman, you meet a man, he already tells you, I don't want anything serious, and you want, or sometimes you hint, you are manipulative. So it's either you are there or you are not. Get out. He has already told you that. And when you're complaining to someone like me, oh, he did this to me, he wasted. No, he didn't waste you. You knew, but you wanted to force the horse to drink water because we are very egoistic as women. And I think maturity, when a woman has matured, she will sit down and she will tell herself this truth. And sometimes she will accept defeat. Like you are dating a man, then you realize it's not your type, or he likes somebody else. You will walk away honorably. You will not go around talking about how bad he is, this, that. So when people are crying on social media, I had 2 kids for him and he did this to me. Usually, I easily see it. They wanted to force him into staying. They had a choice. You can leave. He's not treating you right.
Yes, absolutely.
So get out.
That's a good point. That's true. Yes. Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, I also agree to it because like there's a lot of women who do stay, like Miss Becca said, that they saw all the red flags, but then they chose to stay. And then they start complaining later on, like, oh, he did this, he did that. Yeah, but you knew about this a long time ago. Why are you complaining? That's a you problem. Don't
Yeah.
involve us. Don't blame the guy. He clearly, showed his red flags or whatever it is, and you chose to stay. You made actively a decision to stay.
No. Fair. And actually, I'm going to wrap up in a minute, guys. I actually saw this video of this lady, and there's other women holding her accountable, actually. And this lady, she's a single mother of, I think, 3 kids or something. And she was crying on the internet. I think you guys must have seen at least some similar videos of that. And then she was like, the way she was making it sound as if she was forced to keep the kid. She was in America, by the way. And it's like, even other women were like, why are you coming to us and crying? You chose. And it's like, these men, when you were not married to these men, okay, fine, 1 kid I can understand. But then you've got like 3 kids with like, 3 kids with, even if it's with the same guy, you're not married, the guy clearly is not active. Why then have 2 more? Like people like, it's like that's why for me, I have to say, I have to give women a lot of credit online because I've been seeing this year alone a lot of women holding other women accountable, like and properly too, like holding a woman accountable. Like, why then did you have 2 more? Like, why then did you have 2 more with this guy that you've just said is a bum? Or why then did you have 4 more kids by 3 different men, knowing fully well you're not ready? Do you understand? So it's like you knew this wasn't good. Why bring more that's going to be on your head after you said the guy is a bum? So I feel like this is something a lot of women like to ignore. Like, oh my God, the man. Yeah, the man might be a bum, genuinely. But after number 1, and you've seen that he's a bum and he's not active and you're not even married to the guy, so the guy has no tie to you, why bring more in? Like, there comes a point where people are going to start looking at you like, because you're a woman. At the end of the day, the kid is, whether that child comes into this world or not, is on the woman's shoulders. That's something women have to admit. That's something women have to understand, bro. It's you, especially when you're living in the West. It's on your shoulders. It's on your shoulders. Because even when that child is here, that child is still on your shoulders. It's on you. So you have to be smart. You cannot be coming on the internet talking about, oh, he's a bum, but you've got 3 kids by the same bum you talk about. There comes a point where people's sympathy are going to run out. And I think a lot of people are sick of it. Because now you're bringing more kids into a situation that's already toxic. All right, lady, pleasure, okay?
It was a pleasure talking to you guys. Thank you so much, host.
My
Very
pleasure.
interesting topic.
Hope to see
Interesting
you.
conversation.
Hope to see you again, lady.
I hope to see you.
I love the chat. Really good.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. What do you think, And Mrs. Ndabi? Dabi.
Oh yeah. I came when this live is almost over, but I just want to
Welcome.
add to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wanted to add to what you're saying because it does happen a lot, and unfortunately, we don't have these conversations. The thing is, I don't want to even justify what women do because I've noticed the moment I try and explain like their thinking process, then people think I'm defending them. But sometimes it's just what it is. Like we're just trying to understand why do people think or act this a certain way, especially in different societies. So in terms of women, most of them under a patriarchy in Africa, you're raised to be a pick-me. That is your default setting. You are raised to be a wife, a girlfriend, or some kind of service to a man. So in most of these cases, some people were raised by single mothers who have different baby daddies. Some of us, like we come from families where we have lots of siblings. And in those cases where you're asking, like, why would you continue to have kids with a man who clearly doesn't care about you, or you go to the next man, you haven't learned your lesson. In most cases, it's low self-esteem. And there's a lot of societal gaslighting that happens that people think when you get pregnant or you have a kid for a man, then it's supposed to have some kind of sentimental value, especially if he hasn't committed to you. So that's another thing where people see, like, if you're in a new relationship, they're already asking, you have to give that man a baby. Especially in my culture, it happens a lot. So there's a lot of that where you have the low self-esteem where do you know that there are some women who genuinely don't know that it's a choice. Like you can simply decide not to have the kid because it's always something that has been expected from they don't even know that they have a say in the situation because it's something that has been constantly hammered to them that this is what is expected of you in society or even marriage in general. Then when you grow up and you actually ask these people, they're like, I never actually thought about what I wanted. Like, I didn't know that it was a choice. Like, I can choose not to. And so in most of these cases, when they end up having these kids by multiple, usually it's low self-esteem, lack of the knowledge, or lack of even societal, like a support system in society that supports people like you, like single moms, or even empowering you. The only time you get attention from society is when you're associated with a man. You won't even get support to even start your own business as a single mom. Like there's lack of support like in the society for like single moms or women to actually like education. Like marriage is always at the forefront of what's expected of you. It will always be tied to some kind of your existence in general. So yes, for me, number one is low self-esteem. And I do feel like, yes, women should be held accountable in this stage because there's a lot of information coming out. There's a lot of women who've been in these situations who are telling women not to do these things. And I feel like also with women where we are now, we've never had this much of freedom and rights. And as much as, yes, we don't have the full capacity of rights that we want, but we've never had this level of freedom, like economic power, buying power, where you can simply decide to go to school. For some women who are privileged, God forbid, like other women who don't even have like reproductive rights or any kind of rights, like their faith, like Afghanistan, like, okay, those are the extremes. But then for the average woman, we have these certain rights that a lot of women fought for. And this is the time to be using that information to be bettering yourself. Listen to women who've been in these marriages. Listen to women who've had multiple baby daddies who'll tell you that I'm not going to do this again. Like, listen to women who inspire you where you want to be. Like, so it's a lot of factors, like culture, like societal culture, religion as well. Like, that's another one to deconstruct. Like, we'll need another session to deconstruct how religion is very harmful to women because these ideologies for them in general, some religions don't even believe in ABs. So even if a woman finds herself like in a situation where she's with child and she wants to do a fetus deletus, she can't do that because religion gaslights you that, oh, this is your sin or you have to keep it, or so there's a lot of things to go upon on these things. And I feel like to get out of this bubble, you as a woman, you have to be curious. You need to educate yourself. You need to find a community that actually supports you because you can be stuck in this. I feel like it's kind of a rat race for women. If you're not careful, you can be in that cycle where you're just having these kids by these men who don't care about you and you don't progress in your life. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack about this whole thing.
I hear you. No, thank you. So I agree with you 1,000%. And I always say this to women. And I was actually speaking about women in the West because they have access to these reproductive rights, right? And that was actually my focus. This lady I was talking about is actually based in the US, right? It's like, God damn, why do you have all these things? Because for me, it's like when you have like 5 of them and you're poor, that has to be some type of abuse.
True, that is true.
It's about the kid. Like it gets me so riled up because like, okay, fine. Number 1, it is what it is. 2, okay, cool, it is what it is. 3, 4, 5, come on. That is because now those kids, you know damn well those kids are gonna struggle. You know damn well. Even if
And I feel like
it's don't let me land, please. And even if you're receiving some type of government support, it's not a lot. Because it's not enough. It's typically very minimal. So now you're already poor, you don't have skills, you've got 5 mouths to feed, probably you're getting minimal child support here and there. It's like you're traumatizing these kids, you're setting them back from birth. That is not good. And sometimes it's better to not even bring this. I think even the kids will be like, why the fuck did you bring me into this situation? Because you're setting them from birth to, and this is going to affect their future, right? Because mental development, emotional development, they're going to be under stress from birth. It can't be good. It just can't be good. And that's why it gets me so angry when I see this kind of situation because like it's not fair. These kids would rather not be born than for you to bring them into your chaos. And that's when anytime I see women talking about, oh God, I say, no, don't bring God into this. It's about making a rational decision. What do you got to say, Mr. Ndambi?
That is so. I agree with you. And I feel like unfortunately, it's parents like those who are never on these panels to actually have these discussions because for them, they don't care. They literally don't care. They just see kids as like, for them, I don't know what the motive is because people have different motivations. Some people want to collect a check. Others have low self-esteem. Some don't even know any better, and some it can be religion because even other religions don't allow you to go on birth control.
What check? What check are you gonna get?
That's the thing. Like for them, they have this illusion. For me, like it's this illusion of because it happens a lot. I'm also in the US as well, so it happens a lot where like some people they just have these kids and just be getting these small amounts of money, and for them it's enough. Like they're content with life. And I realized that you can't convince people like that because they've chosen that they're okay. It's us who see that situation from the outside and think this is not okay and we call it out. But I've realized the people who are in those situations, they're comfortable. Otherwise, they wouldn't change their situations. That's why they keep having these kids because they're comfortable. They're content with traumatizing and financially abusing these kids. They're content. But for people like me, I am child free. I would never have a kid under any circumstance. But then I also can call out that, this is BS. Like if you are giving birth to kids you can't take care of, you're abusive. Like in my book, you're abusive.
I agree. Like and that's what like this lady, we're gonna play our video in a minute. That's what I think a lot of women nowadays, they're like, why then did you bring them in? You've got options. There's no excuse. Like, come on, bro. You knew, like, things happen. We're adults. Things happen. It is what it is. But you have options. I just don't like when women act like they were for. I mean, there was another lady, a white one, who went viral. Like, a man manipulated me to have 3 kids. What the fuck does that even mean? How does a man manipulate you into having 3 kids? How?
That's the thing. Like, for them now, it's sometimes they come to the internet now to think that to gain sympathy for bad decisions. Like, and people like that, they'll come and tell you about their man and then go back to him and have the 4th child. You get what I mean?
Yeah, and even I'm like, how would a man manipulate a woman? They're not married. According to her, he's a bum because the man is always a bum after the 4th kid. Funny enough. Okay, fine. You've got the first. Okay, sure, whatever.
Exactly. If he wasn't helping out and being competent with the first kid, that should be your sign never to have another one. Like what?
So again, I always used to think maybe I'm being insensitive, but even this woman is like sick of it. Let's listen to her, and then we can circle back after, okay?
Okay.
From one single mom to another, I'm gonna be
Man, look at her eyes. She looks drained of life. Good God. And kids are not easy, man. Man. Anyway, now shut up. We'll talk later.
Stop having all these kids.
Women with kids have kept me child free. Like I married people and women with kids, people not women, generally parents and married people have kept me child free and not married. There's nothing I envy or admire about that life. Even if you're financially stable, it will always be a no for me. Like there's no amount of good PR that can flip me over to the other side.
I don't blame people. I genuinely don't blame people, man. I don't.
I've seen enough on this internet. I've seen enough. And also I know what it means to raise kids because I also worked as a nanny for 2 boys. And I know what it means. And this was for a rich family. So there's no lack present parents, but I still chose. I was like, even when the conditions are right, I would still not do it because it's still a very taxing job. And people don't take it. They don't know the seriousness of it. Most people who have these kids don't know the seriousness of it. They have kids for the aesthetics. They have kids for the aesthetics without knowing the responsibility that it will actually take being a parent. Like parenting is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and I think at the beginning of this live stream, I had a guy come in, and I was telling him, he was talking about, oh, but don't you think you should have kids? African countries have kids. I'm like, listen, let's look at things from the context of Africa. With the kids we currently have in Africa, how are the past generation that are always pressuring people to have kids? How have they been? What have they done for the kids that already exist in Africa? Terrible. They've done terribly. So who are they to tell us what to do? We don't have the infrastructure to cater for the kids we already have, but they want African youth to keep having kids. Come on.
And I feel like religion is playing a lot in those roles as well, because religion in general has been the downfall of women in general, because it's the getting married, they're having multiple children, and religion actually encourages you to have these multiple children even if you don't have anything financially. They gaslight you, telling you God is going to provide you. Your role is just to give birth. That's why I always have a problem.
Yeah. Let's see now. Can you hear it? Can you hear?
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Business.
She's right.
Okay. Nobody's coming to save you.
Five kids.
Okay.
God dang.
Y'all need these babies.
Yes. Thank you. You just spoke about this.
And don't help with the first one. Why you're giving him a second?
Thank you.
And put new laws in place. You need to get up this.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. I'm planning.
That's good. I would also
getting one for real. And I think that as Africans, we need to start considering that too.
That's so true, because for me, if I'm gonna have anyone who wants to be my partner long term, they would need to eventually get a vasectomy. Like, there's no way. You need to go and get it snipped. Because I am serious. If I said I'm child free, there's no amount of gaslighting that, oh, I'm gonna change my mind. No, I decided that when I was 22 years old. Now I'm 30, and there's no turning back. There's literally no turning back. But she's absolutely right.
Yeah.
You already have 3.
2 for me. Okay, fine. 2. It is what it is. Done.
Make sure you have a strong foundation. Make sure you're able to support the child.
Wait, so there's one I saw, like 7 kids with the 8th on the way. What the fuck?
Yeah, and they're usually below 25.
Yeah, this girl was 24.
Yeah, that's the case.
That should be criminal. That should be an abuse, man.
Yeah, it is abuse.
She's married though. But 7 kids though.
Oh, I know this one. I know this one. That's when she met the husband. I think she met him when she was 15.
Oh my God.
7 different men.
Nah, like this is Yeah, Christopher, you're right.
One of my radical takes on this, usually, like for her, like her case is a bit extreme, like seven different
The
men.
average
I
is
feel
like
like it's a
four,
form
three or
of
four,
self-harm.
3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of an aspect of some kind of self-harm to yourself, because you dehumanize yourself. You don't see yourself as anything other than a baby making machine. And there's a lot of people who are willing to take advantage of people who don't have self-esteem. There's a lot of people who are waiting to prey on people like that.
But I think as an African, as a black man, I think black men don't get held accountable a lot. We always put the spotlight.
Yeah,
on
of course.
I agree, and I also I try to put that on black men as well. These women are single mothers and having all these kids because a man is out here spreading it. And oftentimes, these men don't just have one. That's one thing I've noticed. These men that create these kind of women, they don't just have one. It's like they have like 4, 3, 3, 4. Like, dude, god damn, control yourself.
Because they get to leave. They don't get to bear the responsibility. That's why it's so easy to spread their seed everywhere. Because they know that that's the most they can be able to do, especially if you're in Africa. Once you become pregnant, like this child support stuff, like it's a privilege people in the US and these people have. Because once you get pregnant in Africa and you can't find that person, like it's over. Like you're on your own.
Yeah.
So,
Listen, Dambi.
but definitely, yeah.
I'm going to let you wrap up because I've been live for 3 hours now.
No problem. No, I just jumped on and I have nothing else. I just wanted to jump on what you were saying. But this was nice.
Absolutely. No, we should settle. I'll be back tomorrow. It'll be nice to talk on this topic even more, man. Really, really, because it's
yeah, sure.
Have a nice one. Okay,
Of course.
thanks for joining me.
You too.